Let's break it down. The broken baker's coming to town. From Denmark with love, watching courts go wild. American drama got me hooked like a child. Twists in the courtroom, objections all day. Live on the screen, come and join the fray. Step one, grab your coffee, settle in tight. Step two, laugh at the chaos left and right. Step three, Danish take on the law so crazy. Step four, hit subscribe, don't be lazy. Oh yeah! He's a broken baker, breaking down cases, real truth shaker. Witty and fun from across the sea. The broken baker set my free. Hey, hey, broken baker, Danish style so smooth. Legal madness in the groove. Yeah, join to live today. The broken baker here to slay. High profile trials, witnesses spin. Alibis cracking, let the fun begin. Outside of you with a humorous twist. True crime fans, you don't wanna miss. Even when it's broken, we find the fun. Danish baker baking truth for everyone. The broken baker, yeah. Hit that bell, let's go
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, and I have to cut this horrible music that I put on. And welcome back to part 2 of day 3 in the Brendan Banfield Poke the Nanny, Stabulate the Wife case, where we spent the morning looking at some crime scene photos, how they had changed the entire bedroom after she passed away, and they had moved back in there. I actually think you can see some negligee on the bed if you look closer. And then we got a man who was ready for. I'm ready for my close-up, Mr. DeMille, because he was ready to talk about 3-pane glass like no man in history have ever been ready to talk about anything, because he really wanted to talk about coding, hot bridge, cold bridge, all the properties you would enhance with some 3-pane. And that D word of a prosecutor was just, can you just talk about what I want you to talk about? Really, really bad. Really bad. Listen to Kelly Ripa interview with AH, and I'll talk about AJ maybe. Can read over break. Great interview. Is looking forward to their podcast. Read files. Yeah, the only thing I have with the read files is there's so much they can't talk about. So it's probably going to be. They can't make a weekly show. They can maybe make a monthly show, and there will be so few new developments in the case. We just saw. Can we get more time? Can we get more time? Can we get more time? It's going to be a very drawn out, long process. So I'm not sure how effective a Read Files podcast would be as a standalone podcast. I hope they can come on, do some great stuff, but it'll be very limited how much they can talk about the things you want to talk about, the things you want to hear about. It's kind of the same with Adam Deitch, who is running for DA. That people are saying, well, he can't do interviews. Well, he can do interviews if you have an interviewer who understands that there are limits about what he can talk about. but people want him on a show and just ask him, "Are you going to reopen the Karen Reed trial?" And he can't talk about that. So it's going to be very interesting to see, first of all, how they're going to do their YouTube presentations. And the thing about being on a YouTube presentation is you have to have some form of regularity. You have to remind the customers you're there all the time. You can't just say, well, I'm going to be here every first Wednesday of the month or every second month. People will forget you're there. You will just go out of the cycle because you never watch that show anyway. So YouTube will forget to inform you about it, and that's going to be very interesting how they're going to fix that problem, and especially building it from the beginning. I know they have like 6,000 subscribers so far. But it's really hard to keep people coming back, especially if every show is going to be, well, we filed a new filed a new motion, go over the motion and say, well, now we have to wait, and then 3-4 months down the road saying, well, now we have an answer to that motion. It's not that I think she should have chosen any of us who are close to it, but if she could have made a collaboration with one podcast group, kind of like when Brandy Churchwell did the Karen Reed 2.0 for that podcast group, if she could have had someone who has a regular show, but every first Wednesday of the month will be the Karen Reed Alan Jackson show, I think that would probably have been a better choice to keep an audience, because you will have them making constant content, so you will keep watching the show, and then you could drop in every first Wednesday of the month and give an update and talk for an hour about something, so you keep your name in the mix. I think a standalone show will be really hard, really hard to get up and running in a way that they maybe think it's going to be, because consistency is key on the interwebs. But it's going to be interesting to see how they're going to do it.
Sure.
On your bench, like we can approach.
Okay, sure.
Well, she can't tell you anything. That's the problem. Everyone wants her to sit there and talk about everyone, but she can't do it, because everything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. And that's the problem people have. They don't understand that Karen Reed is not done litigating. I thought her Rotten Mango interview was interesting insight. It had some good bits. They had, especially seeing how emotionally and mentally she has been hurt by these people. I think that was probably the most interesting thing for me to see, that it was such a big
Thank you for bringing it
impact.
to my attention. All right, now are we ready for the jury?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
We should just move on. Well, she can't move on because she's locked in a legal battle. The rest of, well, not the rest of us, most of us have moved on and is doing other content as well. We'll dip back into it whenever something's there. But again, it's really hard to keep a Karen Reed podcast running when Karen Reed can't talk. But the rest of us will do what we do. I do this case. I really wish I could do the Aaron Spencer case, but there's no pool feed in that. I think that's horrible, because that's another one of those cases where I don't trust the state. So
It's going to be Kara McCarthy, Your Honor. I'm sorry.
Karen
One more time.
McCarthy. That's a good idea.
Kara McCarthy. Karen McCarthy, thank you.
She 100% waited too long to start interviews. Yes, if she wanted to make money off it, it's way too long. You have to be out there and shit while you're on the pod. You can't jump off the pod and then come back 3 months later and say, hey, because you're just not hot commodity anymore.
Do you swear or affirm to testify truthfully in this case
Some
under
people are
penalty of
normal,
law?
Baker, and need sleep. Well, go to bed then. Cara McCarthy, even a better Irish name. Yes, I know Bob Marder is going to be there, but I have this weird thing where I will, of course, try and get his insights into it, and I might talk about what he talked about, but I will not take his show and just watch on my channel and say, see what he did, see what he talked about, because he did a super presentation on his own show, so people should go over there and support him. I know I'm a bad grifter, but I'll keep an eye on news articles and his coverage, because it's a case that I think is very seriously wrong, especially with the gag order they put on him to begin with, and his entire family. A gag order, the way I read it, meant that the daughter couldn't even get counseling after being in a very horrible situation. So the Aaron Spencer case, I'll try and cover as much as I can of it, but I won't take Bob Marder's content and just sit and rewatch it and say, oh yeah, that's my point as well. I'm not that good of a grifter. Hey, Smarter Harry. I'm getting good at that accent. Yeah, my Irish accent has become less Scottish. Well, grifter with morals. No, I know when I always say everyone is welcome to use my shit. Just remember to mention my name. But I feel you should go watch it with the people who made it. Of course, I'll take the foreskins and clip parts of it out, and then I'll shit on them because they're idiots. But I think you should go and watch people's products, and it's become a thing lately where people are just watching other people's content, and I get a little bored with it.
Good afternoon.
We waited
Good
for you.
afternoon.
Could you please state and spell your name for the court record?
No,
My name is
I know, Becky. I wasn't saying you said I should just steal Bob's. I just said this is why I'm angry there's no court feed, because Bob is going to do a great show. We know it's probably one of my favorite live coverage channels right now. And we know it's going to be amazing what he's going to do, but I could do the thing where I just sit and rewatch his and say, oh, look at this guy. But I think he should get all the monies for all the work, because I'm a bad grifter.
Cara McCarthy, CARAMCCARTHY.
And what is your occupation?
I am the supervisor of the Firearm and Toolmark section at the Virginia Department of Forensic Science, the Northern Laboratory in Manassas.
And how long have you been employed by the Department of Forensic Science?
Tool marking.
And I have a tourist manufacturing plant tour. I was qualified to work cases in the Firearm and Toolmark section, and I did so for a period of time before I accepted a position with the Virginia Department of Forensic Science. Again, went through a brief training program with Virginia, and again was qualified to work casework in the firearm.
No, but you do it the good way. You go in and you clip us, you mention us, you tag us, and all of that stuff, and you made it interesting. It's when you're just sitting there and say, yeah, I think the Clara is right. It's just easy content.
Toolmark section.
And have you had occasion to train others in the field of forensic firearms and toolmark analysis?
Yes, I have.
And what subjects have you
You're a
taught?
Muppet.
I've provided training in the firearm toolmark discipline to trainees in the section.
Firearm and toolmark.
We have now
examination
entered
and
the
analysis?
bullshit.
Yes, I have.
And in
Part
what
of
courts
the
have you
show.
been so qualified?
I have testified in several courts in the state of Georgia, as well as numerous courts in the Commonwealth of Virginia, including the counties of Fairfax, Loudoun, Prince William, Page, and the cities of Winchester, Alexandria, Norfolk, Portsmouth, among others, and United States District Court, the Eastern District in Alexandria.
Do you have an estimate as to the number of times that you've been qualified as an expert?
I have testified approximately 89 times. A majority of those I was qualified as an expert.
And do you have an estimation of how many times you've been qualified as an expert in Fairfax County?
About 9 times.
Judge, I would ask that the witness be qualified as an expert in the area of forensic firearm and ammunition examination comparison, as well as muzzle to target distance determination.
Any objection? All right, so move then.
Are you familiar with the components of a cartridge?
Yes, I am.
And did you bring a demonstrative to help explain this to us?
No, because lawyers
Yes,
believe
I
this
do.
is
Could you
true.
please could you please describe these components for us with your demonstrative?
Yes, Your Honor, may I retrieve it?
Yes.
She's very suspect.
This is a demonstrative aid of a cartridge. A cartridge is a single unit of ammunition, and it's made up of 4 parts: the primer, the cartridge case, the propellant inside the cartridge case, and the bullet.
And are you familiar with the functioning of a semi-automatic firearm?
Yes.
Could you explain how a cartridge is fired from a firearm?
Cartridges are loaded into the magazine, and the magazine is inserted into the frame of the firearm. On top of the frame sits a barrel and slide. Pull the slide of the firearm rearward and let go. As the slide travels forward, it will strip a cartridge from the magazine into the chamber of the firearm, which is the rear portion of the barrel. At that time, the firearm is ready to fire. Put your finger on the trigger and pull the trigger rearward. This will release the firing mechanism, and the firing pin.
Should we just go and create Smexy novels that I can read for my honey buns section? Because first of all, this is bunk science, and we know who fired the weapons. So another waste of time. And this lady is talking very slow and very much like a kindergarten teacher. I can't stand that.
Will strike the primer of the cartridge. The primer will ignite the
October
Oh, shit.
13th, 2023.
I did.
chamber. And you can repeat the process by pulling the trigger again.
And can you describe the process by which you examine firearms and ammunition components in a laboratory setting?
I routinely examine firearms and ammunition components like bullets and cartridge cases in the laboratory. Regarding firearms, I conduct a visual and physical examination to determine if they are in working order. I check the safety features of the firearm and test fire the firearm at the lab. Regarding ammunition components, I evaluate these microscopically to determine if they have suitable markings on them for comparison to other ammunition components in the case or to test fires that I produce from a firearm.
And were you asked to analyze firearms, magazines, ammunition components, and a T-shirt for this particular case?
Yes, I was.
At this point in time, I am going to ask to admit what I believe is going to be.
I always say you should talk to the stupidest person in the room, but I don't talk like they are mouth breathing, salivating people, all of them.
Wealths. Probably 235. And it is, I've got it in a box over here.
The fire, I think it's a firearm.
I think it's a firearm. You should know if it's a firearm.
Okay, no objection to 235?
235.
235.
Yeah, I would rather do closings than listen to this one. And for those of you who says, why does he say it's bunk science? No, I've seen it in movies. It has never been proven in a blind test that they can match a bullet to a gun. Never. Runkle have put out a reward for, is it $10,000 or $100,000 for anyone who will do a triple blind test, proving that this is real science. It is bunk. This is magic. It's just, and again, in this case, it doesn't matter because we know who had the guns. It's not that important. But
And
it is
do you
actually
recognize
a
this
problem
item?
that it's allowed in court.
May I
Let's
look at
get to the
container?
FedLife.
Yes.
Farrell wants to know if she answered any of the advertising or the post.
Yes, I recognize Commonwealth's Exhibit item 235 by the laboratory number N231753 and the initials on the container. My initials on the container.
And what is the item?
This item is a firearm.
It's a
It's a
Glock.
Glock Model 19M 9mm Luger pistol.
And when you began your examination of this firearm, were there any attachments on it?
Yes,
And what was the attachment?
there is a flashlight that's attached to the firearm.
Was it necessary to remove that flashlight?
Yes, for my examination.
And what did you do to determine whether this firearm was in working order?
I performed a visual and physical examination on the firearm. I checked the safety features of the firearm, and I also test fired it.
And what was the result of your examination?
This firearm, the Glock Model 19M, was found to be in mechanical operating condition with the safety features functioning properly.
And are you familiar with the item number 1 on your certificate of analysis lab sheet?
Yes, I am.
I don't know who that is.
And what is that item?
Item 1 on the certificate of analysis for laboratory number N23-1753 is a 9mm Luger cartridge case.
And tell us how you went about analyzing item 1.
I microscopically examined the item 1 cartridge case and compared it to test fires that I produced from Commonwealth's Exhibit 235.
And what was the result of the examination?
The item 1 cartridge case was identified as having been fired in Commonwealth's Exhibit 235, the Glock Model 19M pistol.
And are you familiar with item 80 on your certificate of analysis lab sheet?
Yes.
And what is item 80 and how many parts did it have?
Item 80 on the certificate of analysis for N23-1753 contains 3 bullet fragments and 2 lead fragments from autopsy.
And whose autopsy are they from?
The autopsy of Joseph Ryan.
And tell us how you went about analyzing these bullet fragments.
The bullet fragments were designated items 80A, 80B, and 80C. These were microscopically examined, and the item 80A bullet fragment was compared to test fires produced from Commonwealth's Exhibit item 235, the Glock Model 19M pistol.
And we can put that item aside, and we're going to move on to a different firearm. And Judge, I'm going to ask to admit this as Commonwealth's 236.
236, any objection to 236? 230, it's the second firearm. All right, 236.
Mr. BLT. Whoop. Oh, it's a little baby one.
And do you recognize this item?
Yes, I recognize this item by the laboratory number N23-1753 and my initials on the container.
And what is it?
This item is a firearm. It's a Glock Model 43X 9mm Luger pistol.
And what did you do to determine whether this firearm was in working order?
I performed a visual and physical examination on the firearm, checked the safety features, and I also test fired the firearm.
And what was the result of your examination?
This firearm, the Glock Model 43X, was found to be in mechanical operating condition with the safety features functioning properly.
And are you familiar with item 2 on your certificate of analysis lab sheet?
Yes.
And what is item 2?
Item 2 for laboratory number N23-1753 is a 9mm Luger cartridge case.
And can you tell us how you went about analyzing the cartridge case?
I microscopically analyzed the item 2 cartridge case and compared it to test fires that I produced from Commonwealth Exhibit 236, the Glock Model 43X pistol.
And I'm sorry, what was the result of the examination?
The item 2 cartridge case was identified as having been fired in Commonwealth Exhibit 236, the Glock Model 43X.
And are you familiar with item 81 on your certificate of analysis lab sheet?
Yes, I am.
And what is it?
Item 81 on laboratory case number N23-1753 is a bullet from the autopsy of Joseph Ryan.
And tell us how you went about analyzing this bullet.
I microscopically examined the bullet, item 81, and compared it to test fires from Commonwealth Exhibit 236, the Glock Model 43X pistol.
And what was the result of your examination?
The item 81 bullet was identified as having been fired from Commonwealth Exhibit 236, the Glock Model 43X pistol.
Did you memorialize your conclusions in a certificate of analysis?
Yes.
In a moment, I hope to show you that. This one, try that.
Oh. What's that?
It's not here.
Exhibit number?
230. Hold on.
No, nothing has been loaded onto this. If you had it on there, it had to be loaded onto here. Okay, but you don't have,
Yes, I do.
you have HDMI?
No, I have a dongle
Right, where is the dongle?
in my. I'm sorry, Your Honor.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have any use? Lift up. There you go.
Don't put your phone under your pillow. You won't find it again. Well, I did find it, but it took some time. Good thing I have find my phone on my watch.
Okay. If I could have you take a look at the document that's displayed on your screen. Can you see it?
Yes, I can.
Okay. I'm going to scroll through it. This has been stipulated to its admissibility. Is this your lab sheet?
Yes, it is.
And can you note the date for us?
This is the certificate of analysis that I produced on this case. This certificate of analysis is dated April 11th, 2023.
And does this lab sheet reflect the results that we've just discussed?
Yes, it does.
Thank you. Judge, if we could terminate this view, I would ask to admit this as Commonwealth 234.
Any objection to 234? You need your microphone, Mr. Carroll, I can't.
Yeah, that's how I found out.
I don't have an
it was on-
objection, Judge, but I'd like to leave this up for cross-examination.
Oh, I don't, are you done now, or?
No,
I
no,
have
it's
one
tool
more.
marking.
Okay,
It's-
that's fine, yes, but
it's-
I'm sure they can leave it up for you.
We could have started an hour later and still catch up.
So it is in evidence as 234, thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Were you asked to do an additional analysis in this case at a later date?
Yes, I was.
What type of analysis were you asked to do?
I was asked to perform a muzzle to target distance determination examination.
Oh, interesting.
And which items did you use, which exhibits and items did you use to do that?
For that examination, I used item 83, which is a t-shirt. I also used item, it's my item 5, the Glock Model 43X pistol and cartridges in the case.
And is that the Glock 43X pistol that we just examined here?
Yes.
What is a muzzle to target distance determination?
A muzzle to target distance determination is an examination that's conducted in an attempt to determine the approximate distance the muzzle of the firearm was from the target at the time of firing.
And how is it possible to determine how far away a firearm was at the time it was fired?
When a firearm is fired, not only does the bullet exit the firearm, but also gunshot residues. These residues leave the firearm in the shape of a cone, and they are comprised of burned, unburned, partially burned gunpowder particles, as well as vaporous lead or smoke, lead particulate, and really anything else that's in the barrel at the time of firing. And these residues can be deposited in a predictable and reproducible pattern at certain distances. So in the laboratory, I can examine items of clothing, examine them for gunshot residues, and then compare them to known targets that I've created in the laboratory.
And how do you conduct this examination in the laboratory?
Regarding the evidence item of clothing, I visually, microscopically, and chemically process that for the presence of gunshot residues. I also create test targets at known distances and compare those test targets to the results of the evidence clothing.
And were you able to draw any conclusions about the distance between the muzzle of the 43X and the hole in the t-shirt?
Yes.
And what was that conclusion?
The t-shirt, item 83 on my lab report, had a hole in the front left middle area. And this area was visually, microscopically, and chemically processed for gunshot residues, and no pattern of residues was found. Therefore, this is indicative of the muzzle of the Glock 43X having been greater than approximately 21 inches from the hole in the shirt at the time of firing, barring the presence of an intervening object.
And did you memorialize your conclusions in a certificate of analysis?
Yes, I did.
And Judge, if I could have this next item displayed only to the witness. Do you see the document on your screen?
Yes.
Okay. And this is, I'm asking to admit this as Commonwealth's 231, and it has been stipulated too.
I already have 231 as Christine's phone with
Oh, I'm sorry. Then
the app showing.
Come on,
we'll do
Elaine.
that as
235.
235,
is the firearm Glock 19M.
236,
236 is the firearm Glock 43X.
237,
That is blank.
237.
237. Any objection? All right. Thank you.
I'm going to scroll through this so that you can see. Is this your lab sheet?
Yes.
I don't have any further questions for you. Mr. Carroll is going to have some questions for you. I'm going to separate for this for just a moment so that only the lab sheets that Mr.
Okay.
Carroll is looking
right,
for are showing.
Take a moment to do that. Mr. Carroll, are you going to need the firearms themselves for your cross-examination? Okay.
Did we get
Deputy
the
Johnson,
distance?
thank you.
She did an analysis. Did we get the distance? Have I zoned out so much? I didn't get what the distance was from the target. Oh. I might need to go watch someone else go over this, and then I can figure out what happened. Hey, yummy, 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 I got something on my tummy. More than 21 inches away. Yeah. Okay. What does it prove? Nothing. Nothing at all. So more than 21 inches. So there's no gunshot residue on them. Okay. I should just end the show and talk about how stupid the foreskins are that they're now going with Plevens. Oh, did you know Karen Reed went to school with someone in 1998, and this is how she got the DOJ to go in and look at her case, and then she was found innocent. Yeah, let's get the Department of Justice to go in and look into a case where I'm guilty, because that's what guilty people would ask for. Hey, can we get more eyes on this case? Jeepers, these people. And it's the same people. There's nothing nefarious about proctors telling people, give my wife a gift instead of me. There's nothing nefarious about Colon being the ring bearer. Oh. These people are so stupid. The same things they had been yelling about doesn't make sense for 3 years is now, oh, gotcha. Did you know Adam Deitch's sister's wife's husband's cousin is actually partly connected to the wife's husband's nephew's grandaunt's puppies? Turn on the audio.
Prep, or I guess months before this trial date. I indicated that I was going to stipulate to your lab sheets when they asked me to do that, but I did have some questions related to how you receive the firearms and what you do with the firearms after you're done. That's okay. So at some point you receive, and if I'm assuming something wrong, please tell me.
Okay.
At some point you receive the firearms from the evidence detectives at Fairfax County Police Department, correct?
The firearms are submitted to the laboratory to evidence receiving specialist, and that's when they get a laboratory number assigned to them and they're entered into our system.
Okay. And so there's someone in your organization that takes it and then brings it to you for whatever the specific test is?
They receive the evidence from the agency. They may transfer that evidence to the section, or I may pick up the evidence at their section.
Okay, and I think we're talking about on 235, Exhibit 235, we're talking about the the Glock 19M?
Yes.
Okay. Was it packaged like it was today for you when you opened it up?
Yes, it was.
Okay, so same packaging, and then you put yellow tape over it after you're done?
That's correct.
Okay, and When you took it out, what was the condition of the firearm when you got an opportunity to handle it?
I can refer specifically to my notes, if that's okay.
Yes, please.
Can I refer to my notes, Your Honor?
Yes, ma'am.
The Glock Model 19M was received in a closed brown bag with a zip tie through the action of the firearm, and a flashlight was attached to the firearm. And there was possible biological material that I noted on the firearm.
Okay, and the biological material, would that have been blood?
That's outside my area of expertise.
Okay. Well, I guess that my question is there any sort of a cleanup of that firearm in order to do the things that you do to test it?
No, I did not clean the firearm.
Okay, and are there any instructions to police department evidence clerks or detectives who are bringing things like firearms to you and how they should be in, what condition they should be in before you get them?
Firearms can be submitted to the laboratory in the same condition that they are recovered in, particularly ones that are submitted in water. We want the agency to submit the firearm with water or in water.
Okay. And is there any situation where you would want them, if say there were other tests that needed to be done, where you would advise them to do other tests before the tests that you do?
There are some agencies that do test fire the firearm for entry into the NIBIN system before it's submitted to the laboratory.
And was that done in this case, do you know?
Yes, it was.
Okay. So the testing, would the testing have you done, that you did in creating this lab sheet, would that have caused any contamination to any later blood analysis that was on the gun?
Again, any analysis regarding biological materials outside my area of expertise.
Okay, so there are no policies or anything regarding that?
Typically, if there is a request for a DNA test or a latent print test, that would occur before it comes to the firearms section.
Okay. I have no further questions, Judge.
All right, redirect.
Neither of these firearms were submitted to you in water, correct?
That's correct.
No further questions, Judge.
All right, is this witness subject to recall?
No, Judge.
All right, you're free to go. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Have a good day. All right, your next witness.
Catherine Colombo, please.
Catherine, I'm sorry, what was the last name?
Colombo.
Colombo, thank you. Catherine Colombo.
Hey, Shelley H. Hey, Andrea. You didn't miss much today. It's been a very slow day. The first day was really good. The second day was okay. The third day is really, really slow. She better be a detective or it's a waste of a name. Yeah.
Do you swear or affirm to testify
And she
truthfully in
better
this
have
case under
one
penalty of
wonky
law?
eye.
Thank you.
She has a binder, hopefully something interesting.
Good afternoon, how are you?
Good afternoon.
Could you please state and spell your name for the court record?
My name is Catherine Colombo. My first name is spelled Kathryn. My last name is spelled Colombo.
Thank you. What is your current occupation and where are you employed?
I'm a forensic scientist, and I'm employed by the Virginia Department of Forensic Science
And how long have you worked for DFS?
for 18 years.
Did you have any experience in forensic DNA testing prior to DFS?
I did. I was employed for 9 years.
Hey, everyone. Did you see Janelle is here? Janelle is here, my dear. Janelle, save the day for me. Hey, Janelle, thank you for coming in. I'm so glad you are here right now. Oh my. I hope that made up for it, Janelle.
As a DNA analyst at a private forensic DNA testing laboratory. I was employed for 3 years at the FBI laboratory, conducting testing in the serology and DNA analysis units. And I was employed for 1 year at the Suffolk County Laboratory in New York in the same capacity, conducting body fluid testing and DNA testing.
Outside of your extensive experience, did you have to go through any specific training to become a DFS employee?
At DFS, and actually for each of my places of employment, there was specialized training with supervisory and
Bodily
senior
fluids.
scientists, and it involved a combination of attending lectures, reading the literature, processing a wide range of samples in the laboratory, and then successfully completing laboratory written and oral competencies.
Thank you. What are your responsibilities as a forensic scientist at
Dave,
DFS?
I examine items of evidence for the presence of body fluid stains, such as blood and semen. I conduct DNA testing. I issue reports of my results and interpretations. And
well, you whine and moan in chat that I didn't see you, and then maybe I'll break into song. But we're getting into blood and semen. Oh my.
I testify in court when needed.
Speaking of testimony, have you testified as an expert before?
I have.
All right. Do you recall testifying as an expert in Fairfax County?
Yes,
How many times?
approximately 30.
All right, thank you. Judge, at this time, I would offer Ms. Colombo as an expert in the field of forensic science and DNA analysis.
Any objection? So moved. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Colombo, can you briefly describe for the jury what DNA is?
The letters are an abbreviation for deoxyribonucleic, and it's the chemical substance found in our bodies that contains all the information and instructions that a person needs to develop and function during his or her lifetime. So it contains the information and instructions that influence the person's physical traits, and it contains the information and instructions that directs and regulates cellular processes occurring in the body. We inherit our DNA from our parents, half from our father and half from our mother.
And can you describe for the jury what DNA typing is?
No.
Forensic DNA typing is a laboratory procedure that examines locations or regions of the DNA where individuals may have different DNA information. It's used to determine if an evidence profile, perhaps it's a profile from a sample from the crime scene, it's used to determine whether that evidence profile could or could not have originated from certain individuals whose DNA has been submitted for comparison. And this information can be useful in the investigation of a criminal case.
So how do you do this? What is the process that you use at the lab to type DNA?
It's a multi-step process, and it begins with a DNA extraction. And this is the step where the cells present in the sample are broken open to release the DNA, and then the DNA is purified of other cellular material. Then an assessment is made of the quantity and the quality of the DNA. Then a technique is used to label and make millions of copies of specific regions of the DNA. And at the end of this step, I have labeled copies of DNA fragments of different lengths. I then utilize an instrument to separate the fragments by size and detect the labels. And the information or the data from this instrument is imported into a software program that allows me to visualize the DNA profiles.
And what is the name of that software program, if you will?
That's called Gene Mapper.
Okay. Do the terms PowerPlex fusion mean anything to you?
Yes, that's the name of the routine DNA test that I conduct, and it examines 24 regions on the DNA. I also conduct Y chromosome testing, which examines 17 regions on the Y chromosome.
What information do you then rely on for your statistical analysis?
For that analysis, I use the actual data for the evidence profile being evaluated, and I use population studies of the frequencies of the DNA types that's provided by the National Institute of Standards and Technology, and I'm utilizing standards and guidelines in the field as well as my own laboratory's procedures.
All right. Let's talk about other types of testing that you might perform outside of DNA. Do you test for bodily fluids?
I do.
Okay. And what information do you use or what methods do you employ to detect the presence of bodily fluids?
Body fluid testing, blood is indicated using visual and chemical tests. For seminal fluid, these tests are done using visual tests, chemical tests, and/or immunological tests. I also conduct a microscopic examination for.
If you didn't always wander off and, oh, I have to go do real life stuff, you would have heard this morning Dodo got her song, and now Janelle got a song. So I'm putting this squarely on your shoulders. So yeah. Well, Katie, you you sneak around and leave when I'm singing.
Or spermatozoa, which are the male reproductive cells.
All right. So I think later we're going to see not confirmatory. What does it mean when the results of these tests on bodily fluid are not confirmatory?
Yes, so the blood and the seminal fluid tests that I do are called presumptive tests, and it means that a substance could possibly cause a positive reaction when either of those body fluids are not actually present. The identification of spermatozoa with a microscopic examination, that is a confirmatory test.
Thank you. So did you receive evidence collected from each of the 4 individuals involved in this case?
I did.
And what did you receive? Specifically, did you receive PERC kits?
I did.
Okay. What is a PERC to your knowledge?
It's a kit that contains samples and swabbings from various body areas.
And did you receive a PERC from Christine Banfield and Joseph Ryan?
I did, and each contained a blood sample from which I produced a DNA profile to be used for comparison to evidence profiles.
All right. And then from Juliana Peres Magalhães and Brendan Banfield, did you receive a different type of material?
Yes,
What did you receive?
I received buccal samples from each, and a buccal sample is a swabbing of the inside of the mouth, of the inner cheeks, and it's a way for an individual to provide a DNA sample from which a profile can be developed and used for comparison to evidence profiles.
So you were able to develop a DNA profile for each of the 4 individuals involved in this case, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. You were then given a number of items to test for the presence of DNA and compare to those 4 profiles, right?
Yes,
Okay. Approximately how many certificates of analysis did that produce?
5.
Okay. I'm going to draw your attention to what I would like to offer into evidence as Commonwealth's 160, the lab analysis sheet from May 22nd, 2023.
Any objection? All right, 160 in evidence?
And if that can be published, please.
Yes.
All right. Do you recognize this exhibit?
Good
I do.
job, Janelle.
Can you identify what?
Come on. Come on. Come on.
Share Commonwealth's 114. previously admitted?
No. No.
Is this the item that you tested?
It appears to be yes.
All right. Tell us about your results.
Yeah.
I collected a sample of red-brown staining from the sharp edge of the blade, and I recovered a sample of red-brown staining from the heel of the blade, and blood was indicated in each of those samples. And I developed the same DNA profile from each of those samples. And Christine Banfield could not be eliminated as a contributor of that profile. Brendan Banfield, Juliana Peres Magalhães, and Joseph Ryan were each eliminated as contributors of that DNA profile. And the probability of randomly selecting an unrelated individual with a DNA profile matching the profile developed from these two samples is 1 in greater than 7.2 billion, which is the approximate world population. And that was the case when I did the calculation in each of three population groups, the Caucasian, the African American, and the Hispanic. I then recovered a sample of red-brown staining from the underside of the handle
2 days
where
early.
the blade and the handle meet, and I developed a DNA mixture profile. And that means that DNA from more than one individual was present. Brendan Banfield and Juliana Peres Magalhães were eliminated as contributors to the mixture profile. I referred the data for this mixture profile to a separate analyst for evaluation with specialized software and for conclusions with respect to Christine Banfield and Joseph Ryan and any statistics if applicable.
Thank you. Going back to your test of the blade of the knife and the language that an individual could not be eliminated as a contributor, would you also be able to say that means it was a match to the contributors that you did identify?
That could be another term that could be used. Could not be eliminated, a match, an inclusion.
Thank you. I'm now going to ask you to take a look at what's been previously admitted as Commonwealth's 129. Do you recognize this photograph?
Yes,
Okay, and this was the fitted sheet from the bedroom of Juliana Peres Magalhães. Is that your understanding?
it is.
What areas of this sheet did you test?
I tested 5 stained areas. 4 of them were located inside that center area where there's the larger circle. And then 1 was located below the larger circle. And spermatozoa, which are the male reproductive cells, were identified in these 5 stained areas. I collected samples for DNA from 3 of the 5 areas, and I developed DNA profiles consistent with originating from common contributors. And because of that consistency, I selected the data from just 1 of the areas for further analysis and reporting. When I processed this sample, I used a method that attempts to separate the DNA information contained within the sperm cells from the DNA information contained within any other cell type present in the sample. So from the sperm fraction, I developed a DNA profile.
It's the
Brendan
17.
Banfield could not be eliminated as a contributor of that profile. The other 3 individuals were eliminated as a contributor of that profile. And the probability of randomly selecting an unrelated individual with a DNA profile matching the profile developed from the sperm fraction is 1 in greater than 7.2 billion in each of the 3 population groups.
All right, so Brendan Banfield's spermatozoa was identified on Juliana Peres Magalhães' bedsheet.
He could not be eliminated as a contributor of that profile, and the other 3 individuals were eliminated.
Thank
For-
you. I'm sorry.
For the non-sperm fraction, I developed a DNA mixture profile, and Brendan Banfield and
It's her sheets.
Juliana Peres Magalhães could not be eliminated as contributors to the mixture profile. Christine Banfield and Joseph Ryan were each eliminated as contributors to the mixture profile. And the probability of randomly selecting an unrelated individual who would be included as a contributor to this mixture profile is 1 in greater than 7.2 billion, and that was the case in each of the 3 population groups.
Thank you. Turning to item 91, the Physical Evidence Recovery Kit, or PERC, from Christine Banfield. When you examined the contents of that kit, what did you determine?
In the kit, there was a vaginal cervical sample, an anorectal sample, and an oral sample, and blood was indicated on the oral sample. The blood tests were inconclusive for the vaginal cervical and anorectal sample, and no male DNA was detected on any of these samples, so no further testing was conducted.
So she wasn't raped, at least.
There, in the kit, there was a left breast swab,
No, this was from her sheet in her room.
a right breast swab, a swabbing of the back of the left hand, and a swabbing of the palm of the left hand. And blood was indicated on each of these samples. From each of these samples, I developed a full profile attributable to Christine Banfield, and there were types different from Christine Banfield. However, the types different were too limited for comparison purposes. I did determine at this stage in the testing that it was possible that male DNA was present in these samples.
And did you then set those samples aside for further testing?
I reported that male DNA was possibly present and that these may be suitable for further Y chromosome DNA testing.
All right. To go back for just a second, though, before we looked at the left backhand, right breast, left palm, the anorectal, oral, and vaginal sample, they were negative for male DNA. Is that correct?
No male DNA was detected.
Thank you. What did you test next?
Then there was the right back of the hand sample, the right palm sample, and 3 samples from the neck, and blood was indicated on each of these samples. From each of these samples, there was a full profile attributable to Christine Banfield. However, there was nothing different from Christine Banfield. For the right hand samples, the back of the hand and the palm, it was possible that male DNA was present. For the 3 next samples, no male DNA was detected.
Looking then at the fingernail clippings, what did you learn from your testing?
Blood was indicated in a sample of the right hand fingernail clippings and in a sample of the left hand fingernail clippings. And I developed a DNA profile, and the profile that I developed from these samples, there was a full profile attributable to Christine Banfield. There was nothing different from Christine Banfield. However, it was possible that male DNA was present in these 2 samples.
Thank you. Did you also test head hair, pubic combings?
No.
Okay. You then turned to the physical evidence recovery kit from Joseph Ryan, is that correct?
Yes.
All right. And what item from that kit did you test first?
I tested them contemporaneous in time, but listed in the report is the genital penis sample. No blood was observed on this sample. And I developed full profiles that were attributable to Joseph Ryan. There was nothing foreign to Joseph Ryan.
From the genital penis sample?
Correct.
Okay, thank you. You then have reported on his
Question: what's a non-genital penis sample? This is where I need Jamie to be around, because Jamie knows stuff like that. What's a non-genital penis sample?
is right backhand, right palm, and left palm. Is that correct?
Yes.
And what was determined from that testing?
Blood was indicated on each of those samples. There was a full profile attributable to Joseph Ryan in each of those samples. And then from each, the same profile different from Joseph Ryan was detected, and Christine Banfield could not be eliminated as a contributor of the different profile. Juliana Peres Magalhães and Brendan Banfield were eliminated as contributors of the different profile. and the probability of randomly selecting an unrelated individual with a DNA profile matching the profile different from the hand samples of Joseph Ryan is 1 in greater than 7.2 billion in each of the 3 population groups.
And Joseph Ryan's fingernail clippings?
Yes, blood was indicated on the right hand fingernail clipping sample and on the left hand fingernail clipping sample. And I developed a full profile from each of these samples attributable to Joseph Ryan. And the same profile different from Joseph Ryan was developed from each of these samples. And Christine Banfield could not be eliminated as a contributor of the different profile. Brendan Banfield and Juliana Peres Magalhães were eliminated
Now, where's
as
Brendan when we need
contributors
him?
of the different profile. And the probability of randomly selecting an unrelated individual with a DNA profile matching the different profile developed from each of the fingernail samples from Joseph Ryan is 1 in greater than 7.2 billion.
Outside of the penis. So, but it's still, the penis is the penis, that's the genital.
In each of the 3 population groups.
Thank you. Going to direct your attention to what's been previously admitted as Commonwealth's 119. And this was a photograph at the scene of the crime of what I believe you tested as item 39, swab of stain on wall. You were also given what was photographed in Commonwealth's Exhibit
Well, he's dead, he can
112.
feel it.
Previously admitted. Items 42 and 43, swabs of stains from the carpet, and specifically from the carpet in front of the laundry basket. Now, tell us about your testing on these 3 swabs.
Blood was indicated on each of the swabs, and I developed the same DNA profile from each of the swabs. Joseph Ryan could not be eliminated as a contributor of the profile. The other 3 individuals were eliminated as a contributor of the profile. And the probability of randomly selecting an unrelated individual the probability of randomly selecting an unrelated individual with a DNA profile matching the profile developed from these 3 swabs is 1 in greater than 7.2 billion in each of the 3 population groups.
Okay, so that's Joseph Ryan's blood on the wall and these 2 locations on the carpet, is that correct?
He can't be eliminated as a contributor, yes.
Thank you. I'd like to show you what was previously admitted as, one moment, Commonwealth's 120.
Yeah, that makes no sense. No, because then it'll have to be
This
inside
photograph-
of the testicles.
In evidence,
And if you go inside of the testicles, the pee would run out.
was for item 41, the swab of stain from the front of the laundry basket. What testing did you perform there?
I conducted the blood testing and blood was indicated and a DNA mixture profile was developed. And Christine Banfield and Joseph Ryan could not be eliminated as contributors to that mixture profile. Juliana Peres Magalhães and Brendan Banfield were eliminated as contributors to the mixture profile. And the probability of randomly selecting an unrelated individual who would be included as a contributor to this mixture profile is 1 in greater than 7.2 billion in each of the 3 population groups.
All right, so that's Christine and Joe cannot be eliminated from this side of the basket, is that correct?
Correct.
Thank you. Turning to Commonwealth's previously admitted 121, the photograph that
It's
shows us a
stored in
different
the
angle of
post.
the basket. You tested a swab from the side of the laundry basket as item 56, is that correct?
It is.
And what profiles were present there?
Blood was indicated, and I developed a DNA profile. Christine Banfield could not be eliminated as a contributor of the profile. The other 3 individuals were eliminated as a contributor of the profile. And the probability of randomly selecting an unrelated individual with a DNA profile matching the profile developed from this stain swab is 1
Thank you,
in greater
Kelly.
than
Finally,
7.2
someone who
billion
makes sense.
in each of the population groups.
All right, I'm going to ask you to take a look at Commonwealth's 103, previously admitted. Here we have the site of a bed frame. You were provided with a swab of a substance from that bed frame as item 71. Again, what did your test reveal?
Blood was indicated, and a DNA mixture profile was developed. Juliana Peres Magalhães and Brendan Banfield were eliminated as the contributors to the mixture profile. And for this mixture profile, I referred the data to another analyst for evaluation of the profile with specialized software and for conclusions with respect to Christine Banfield and Joseph Ryan and any statistics if applicable.
Thank you. This time, I'm going to have you take a look at Commonwealth's 161, a certificate of analysis from July 17th, 2023, and I would offer this into evidence as Commonwealth's 161.
Any objection? 161 in evidence?
All right, so this one's a little different. Tell us, what is Y chromosome testing?
A Y chromosome testing is a male-specific test, and it examines regions on the Y chromosome.
Why was that manner of testing employed in this case?
In my previous report, I had indicated that there were samples where it was possible that male DNA was present and that Y chromosome testing could be done, and that request was made for me to do that testing. And the Y chromosome testing can be useful in situations where larger amounts of female DNA are mixed with smaller amounts of male DNA, such that with the routine test, I either don't get any information from the male component or I get limited information that I can't use for comparison. So the advantage of the Y chromosome test is that it will ignore the female DNA and it just examines regions on the Y chromosome, which is found only in males. The disadvantage is that it's not as discriminating as the routine test. There's less diversity, and with this test, males in the same paternal line would be expected to have the same Y chromosome DNA profile.
Okay, so using this alternative method of testing, what did you learn from the knife?
First, I want to mention that for the known samples from Brendan Banfield and from Joseph Ryan, I developed Y chromosome DNA profiles that I used for comparison to the evidence profiles developed.
Thank you. And did you compare those profiles to the profile developed from the knife?
Yes, I developed Y chromosome DNA types from the sample that I recovered from the sharp edge of the blade. However, these types were not suitable for comparison because of the limited information obtained.
Okay, and then you took a look at the perk from Christine Banfield, again, and specifically the fingernail clippings?
Yes.
Did that reveal any information?
So for the right hand fingernail clippings, a Y chromosome DNA mixture profile originating from more than one male was developed, and Brendan Banfield was eliminated as a contributor to this Y chromosome DNA mixture profile. Because my laboratory does not have a method to use to calculate statistics for this type of Y chromosome mixture profile, I'm not offering any conclusions with respect to Joseph Ryan. For the left-hand fingernail clippings from Christine Banfield, a Y chromosome DNA mixture profile originating from more than one male was developed. However, this mixture profile was not suitable for comparison due to the unknown number of contributors.
All right, and then turning to her right breast, and left back hand samples?
Yes, so Y chromosome DNA mixture profiles originating from more than one male were developed from each of these samples, and there is insufficient information to draw a conclusion with respect to Brendan Banfield as a contributor to these Y chromosome DNA mixture profiles. And again, with these mixture profiles, because my laboratory doesn't have a method in use for calculating statistics for this kind of a Y chromosome mixture profile, I'm not offering any conclusions with respect to Joseph Ryan.
Were you able to reach any conclusions for the right backhand and left palm sample?
Yes, Y chromosome DNA mixture profiles were developed, and I developed the same major Y chromosome DNA profile from each of these samples. And a major profile means that one of the contributors is contributing more of their DNA relative to the other, such that that profile can be clearly and easily determined. So Joseph Ryan could not be eliminated as a contributor of the major Y chromosome DNA profile developed from these two samples, nor could any of his male relatives in his paternal line. Brendan Banfield was eliminated as a contributor of the major profile developed from these two samples. And I followed there's a particular procedure for calculating the statistics for the Y chromosome, and it ultimately resulted in a frequency for the major Y chromosome DNA profile of approximately 1 in 2,800 male individuals in the Caucasian population, 1 in 2,300 male individuals in the African American population, and 1 in 2,000 male individuals in the Hispanic population. For the minor profiles, they weren't suitable for comparison, either due to the limited information obtained or to the complex nature.
Okay, and you looked at the right palm sample, but that one was not suitable for comparison, is that correct?
That's right, that was due to the complex nature and the limited information obtained. It was a DNA mixture, a Y chromosome DNA mixture profile that was developed from that sample.
Okay,
It's blood on the hamper. It's mixed blood and semen extractions.
we'll turn to what's being marked as Commonwealth's 162, Certificate of Analysis from February 5th, 2024.
Yes,
To offer that into evidence at this time as Commonwealth's 162.
Any objection? 162.
All right, do you recognize this document?
I do.
All right, and Judge, I'd ask it be published if it has not yet already.
It is.
All right, gonna try to move through this one a little bit more quickly because it wasn't as interesting, I think, for us. The swab of the cartridge casings did not present enough DNA for there to be testing, is that correct?
That's correct. For the item 75 swab of the cartridge case, no blood was observed. For item 76, no blood was indicated. And then for this type of sample, which is called a DNA trace sample or a DNA touch sample, my laboratory has done a study and we've determined a threshold of DNA that must be present in order to proceed with the testing, because we know if we don't have that threshold met, we don't get useful results. And these
Blood, 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 blood.
two samples did not meet the threshold, so DNA analysis was discontinued.
All right, and the testing from Mr. Banfield's hand swabs, what did that reveal?
No blood was indicated on the right-hand swab or the left-hand swab. From the right-hand swab, a full profile attributable to Brendan Banfield was detected, and there was a profile different from Brendan Banfield, but it was of no value due to the unknown number of contributors and the limited information obtained. For the left-hand sample, a full profile attributable to Brendan Banfield was detected, and there was a mixture profile different from Brendan Banfield detected. And Juliana Peres Magalhães and Joseph Ryan were eliminated as contributors to a different profile. For this profile, I'm not offering conclusions with respect to Christine Banfield, and that was due to laboratory resource management considerations. It would involve the software, and it didn't appear to me that it was particularly probative. However, if requested, that statistical analysis could have been done.
Okay, but we didn't dig into this, and were you aware that Mr. Banfield was permitted to wash his hands prior to the collection of these swabs?
I believe I was told that, yes.
Okay, and would that have affected your testing?
The washing could remove blood and DNA.
Okay, thank you. I'm going to direct you to Commonwealth's 131, previously admitted. All right, this photograph is of Mr. Banfield's coat, is that correct?
Yes.
All right, so let's talk about the testing that you did on this item. You reported in your certificate that there were several testing locations. Are those locations marked on this photograph?
J7, stop talking about spermatozoa, because now everyone is thinking, where the hell was all of that jizz? It's bodily fluids, i.e. blood. It's not from the right testicle, that's where you keep the semen. The left testicle is where you keep the pee. It's not from that. The bodily fluids are blood or spit. It's not, no semen has been detected anywhere. It's just J7 She just had a nap, so she must be a little. No semen. No semen. Niente. Nada. Niet. Because she did say it was Joe Seaman. No, she said it was his DNA profile. Your DNA is in. You need Jesus and you need biology. Jesus. That was back on the bed sheet that had bodily fluids and semen all over the place. That was from Mr. Banfield and the nanny. The rest of it, there has been no semen. That's what. Remember when you said, "Oh, luckily she wasn't raped." I don't care what everyone heard. You're degenerates. Yes, there was semen on the Paramours. Thank you, Mama. There was semen in the Paramour sheets. Yeah, ladies, get off the semen. Farrell, don't take notes. Oh. Oh, I said it's at Cummingham. That would be perfect. No, but it's J7 keeps talking about semen, and there's no semen. That was in the Paramour's bed, because that's where they did the. And Katie, this one is for you. There is a girl named Katie, so charming, always chatty. She asks for songs each day. She asks for songs each day. She writes, "Come on, sing one. A fun tune made it ring one. In chat from morn till night. In chat from morn till night." But I just type back slowly with 0 words too boldly. Burst into any song, burst into any song. She tries her very hardest. I stay the king of laziest. I couldn't get that to rhyme. No singing ever, Katie, ever, ever, Katie. That's the song, the music we sing for our football matches. Clap, clap, clap. Guys go in, we'll lose.
Most of them are. The only ones that aren't are the general swabbings that I made of the
General and
exterior
not
of the left
genital,
sleeve, the front
just
and
so
the rear,
J7 doesn't
from about
get involved
midway
again.
to the top of the sleeve.
Okay, so if we dig into your report then, can we talk about your testing of each of the areas on the coat? What did your testing reveal?
Yes, I was requested to
And in 5
examine
minutes,
the
Katie's coming
exterior
back in
back
saying,
of the coat
"He never sings
and the
to me."
exterior of the sleeves, except for the cuff areas for blood and DNA. On the exterior back of the right sleeve, there were 2 red-brown stained areas, and blood was indicated in each of these areas. And I arbitrarily designated one as A and the other as B. And I developed DNA mixture profiles from each of these stained areas. And Brendan Banfield and Juliana Peres Magalhães were each eliminated as contributors to those mixture profiles. I referred the data from the mixture profile from stained area A to another analyst for analysis with the software for conclusions with respect to Christine Banfield and Joseph Ryan and any statistics, if applicable. For stained area B, for that stained area, I'm not sure if I mentioned that Brendan Banfield and Juliana Peres Magalhães were each eliminated as contributors to that profile. I'm not offering any conclusions with respect to Christine Banfield and Joseph Ryan, and that's because it was an approximately equivalent profile to stained area A, and to conserve lab resources and prevent redundancy, I'm not offering conclusions.
All right. What other areas of the jacket did you test?
There was an area on the exterior rear, the lower left side, and an area on the exterior rear on the upper left shoulder area. And these were discolored areas, and the blood tests were inconclusive for each of these areas. I developed DNA mixture profiles from each area. Joseph Ryan was eliminated as a contributor to each of these mixture profiles. For the mixture profile developed from the exterior and the lower left side, I referred the data for that mixture profile to another analyst for conclusions with respect to Christine Banfield, Brendan Banfield, and Juliana Peres Magalhães using the statistical software. For the area on the upper left shoulder area on the left side, that was an approximately equivalent mixture profile. So to avoid redundancy, I did not refer that mixture profile for further analysis, and I'm not offering any conclusions with respect to Christine Banfield, Brendan Banfield, or Juliana Peres Magalhães.
All right.
There were 3 additional areas that I tested.
Oh, I'm sorry. Keep
actually-
going. More code.
Yeah. On the exterior rear, the lower right side, and on the exterior front of the left sleeve and the exterior back of the left sleeve, from midway to the top of the sleeve, blood was indicated in each of those 3 samples. And I did develop DNA mixture profiles. However, none of them were suitable for comparison due to the unknown number of contributors and the complex nature.
All right. Thank you. So I'm going to have you take a look at Commonwealth's previously admitted 139, and we'll scroll through to 142. Do you recognize these items?
I do.
Go back one. What was the result of the
Crazy
testing
Amy.
on the shoes of Juliana identified in your lab?
There were 16 stained areas
And I'm not going to say anything about the timing. Chat is going crazy over Jess, and Crazy Amy shows up.
Because Baker's like, let's go, let's fuck. Like, I'm down. I don't know everybody.
across both of the shoes on the exterior bottoms and on the exterior lower front, rear, and back sides. Blood was indicated in each of those 16 areas. I developed DNA mixture profiles from each of those areas. 5 of them were not suitable
Farrell for $5 asks, was there jizz on the apricot? I'm going to get Jamie back on stream because you ladies can't handle a little bit of smack-show talk. You will go absolutely crazy. I need Jamie on here. Stupid work keeping Jamie away, especially Farrell. Farrell, I'm going to send you over to Jamie's mom so you can be mistreated and not have any leftovers with you home. Why can't I say semen? Because this sounds funnier. It's, no, stick around. That's you're not the worst for once.
for comparison due to
Farrell
the
is here.
unknown number of contributors and the complexity. For the remaining 11, a major profile was developed, and Christine Banfield could not be eliminated.
I'll time you out, Danny. No one knows why Wolfenbacher is in a wheelchair. This is what happens when the trial goes boring.
As a contributor of the major profile developed, and the probability of randomly selecting an unrelated individual with a DNA profile matching the major profile developed from these 11 stained areas is 1 in approximately 7.2 billion in each of the 3 population groups. For 8 of the 11 areas, Juliana Peres Magalhães, Brendan Banfield, and Joseph Ryan are eliminated as contributors of the major profiles. However, the minor profiles were not
You are a cop in the military. There was cum everywhere. Trust me, I've been deployed.
suitable for comparison, either due to the limited information obtained or to the complex nature. For the remaining 3, for 1, Juliana Peres Magalhães, Brendan Banfield, and Joseph Ryan were eliminated from the mixtures as a whole. For the remaining 2, Joseph Ryan and Juliana Peres Magalhães were eliminated as contributors of the mixture profiles as a whole, and I'm not offering conclusions with respect to Brendan Banfield and those mixture profiles, and that was due to laboratory resource management reasons.
Okay. let's take a look at what I would like to offer as, here we go, Commonwealth's 164, Certificate of Laboratory Analysis from June 10th, 2024.
Any objection to 164?
Seems like you got yourself into a sticky wicket here, Baker. No, no, no. It's just all these ladies can't handle all of this excitement looking at me. Can you turn your stream on? I can send them over for 5 minutes. That's better than any cold shower that I could ever give them. Oh no, Lefty and his welcome pour la show. Today we're gonna play Rouge Dead Redemption. It's like back in the day in Saskatchewan where I was moose hunting with my family. You can hear the moisture being sucked right back. And thank you, Holly Mac, for $20. Keep that batty handy, Baker. I might need it today. I might need it today. And now I just heard that Dollywood 3.0 has been moved. So now I have to figure out when it's. Maybe I won't even get to America this year. You ladies.
All right, 164 in evidence.
Thank you. All right, the testing just keeps coming. In this particular instance, you tested item 24, the fitted sheet. Is that correct?
Yes,
All right, this is the sheet from the primary bedroom. Is that your understanding?
it is.
What were the results of your testing, this time for blood, right?
Yes, I was asked to test a specific red-brown area. It was on the exterior of one of the corners, and blood was indicated in the sample, and I developed a DNA mixture profile. Brendan Banfield and Juliana Peres Magalhães were eliminated as contributors to the mixture profile, and I referred the data for this mixture profile to another analyst for evaluation with the specialized software and for conclusions with respect to Christine Banfield and Joseph Ryan and any statistics if applicable.
Okay. Item 118, the sneaker insert from the tennis shoe of Juliana. This time you were testing not the outside of the shoe, but rather the inside. Is that correct?
I was asked to test the staining on the left sneaker insert.
All right, I'm going to direct your attention to Commonwealth's 143, previously admitted, just so we can see what you're talking about. Was this the object that you tested?
Yes.
Okay, tell us about the results.
There are two red-brown stained areas. One is within that circle that you see on the screen, and another area above, the staining above that area. And blood was indicated in each of those areas. And DNA mixture profiles were developed with the same major profile, and Christine Banfield could not be eliminated as a contributor as a major contributor to those mixture profiles. The other three individuals were eliminated as major contributors to the mixture profiles. And the probability of randomly selecting an unrelated individual with a DNA profile matching the major profile developed from these two areas from the insert is 1 in greater than 8.1 billion in each of the three population groups. My laboratory had undergone a revision of its manuals, and the approximation of the world population had been updated from 7.2 to 8.1. The minor profiles developed from each of these areas were not suitable for comparison due to the limited information, or I'm sorry, I believe it's for the complex nature of the information.
Thank you. I'm going to direct your attention to Commonwealth's previous exhibits 134, 135, and 136. So here's 134, 135, 136. And we'll start back with 135. These are Brendan Banfield's genes, is that correct?
Yes,
Okay, and looking at this photograph, we have a close-up of 5 spots. Is that accurate?
yes,
Okay. Did you test those spots individually?
I did.
And how did you identify those spots in your testing?
Well, I was directed to examine these 5 stains and an additional 6 stain.
Jamie, I'm leaving you with the chat now.
I heard they found jizz everywhere. Is that true?
Crazy Amy, do you want a link? I think it's better to have you on than Jamie. And I call her Crazy Amy.
You don't think I'm working when I have work stuff to do and I hear your nonsense. Jamie will help everybody. No, she won't. Jiz is funny.
Farrell, can you clip that just for my new intro? This is funny. No, I didn't see this coming. I didn't know that you would get stuck on jizz because he said there was no jizz.
It is a funny word.
Yeah, and lefties, why don't you say semen? Because jizz is way funnier.
So it was
But
all
the-
over the house. They found
but
it
it-
just everywhere.
But in Saskatchewan, we are not allowed to call it jizz because it's an American word. We call it the little swimmers that goes into the on the ladies. Lefty,
Why are you
stop.
French?
Because Lefty is French Canadian.
Oh.
Don't you say anything bad about French Canadians because Holly is also Canadian and she's lovely and Nina Canadian is lovely. Lefty.
You sounded like Pepe Le Pew.
Have you heard Lefty speak ever? That's
Yes.
exactly how he is. Mon cher. Please join me in this dance. And you'll just see all the ladies running around and trying to hide. You know this.
He sounds like a Midwestern. That's what he sounds like.
Oh, betcha. That's how he sounds.
Mm-hmm.
Jamie, stop
favorite
protecting
thing.
Lefty. Lefty is a big boy. He can stand by his Canadianness.
I'm not protecting him. He's mean to me, but I'll tell you when you're wrong.
Lefty is a raccoon, not a skunk. Correct, Amongo.
Oh my
No, Holly
lord.
Mac isn't French Canadian because she lives out in the middle of the ocean. She lives an hour before Eastern Standard Time. Did you know that, Jamie?
No, I didn't.
She does. So she's an
Hmm.
hour ahead of Eastern Standard Time. It's called
Wow.
Atlantic Time or something like that because she lives in
Oh.
Atlanta, Atlantis. She's the little
Atlantis. The Little Mermaid.
Holly Mac is the Little Mermaid.
Jealous.
Janelle was trying to give her granddaughter spaghetti and meatballs, and I had my earbuds in, and all of a sudden I hear penis. I had to run look.
Well, that's how it goes on this channel.
That's why you don't watch trials with us. This is for nighttime shows, Jamie.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes people like it in the daytime too. Afternoon delight.
Na 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 na. Afternoon delight. I'll take a short break, Jamie.
On the rear of the jeans
I've
near the
had enough of
waistband.
these ladies.
And I labeled them from top to bottom. I designated them A, B, C, D, and E.
Okay, and so that would be, if you see my cursor, A, B, C, D, and E, is that accurate?
Right, for the area on the exterior front of the right pant leg.
Okay, and then we had this spot on the back, correct?
Correct.
Okay, and that was tested as well?
Yes.
Okay, and what did your testing reveal?
Blood was indicated in each of the stains. I developed 4 single source profiles. It was the same single source profile. From the remaining 2 areas, I developed mixtures with the same major profile, which was also the same profile as the single source profile developed from the 4 previous stains. And Christine Banfield could not be eliminated as a contributor of this profile, and the probability of randomly selecting an unrelated individual with a DNA profile matching the profile developed is 1 in greater than 8.1 billion in each of the 3 population groups. The other 3 individuals were eliminated as contributors to this profile. For the 2 areas where there were mixtures, the minor profiles were not suitable for comparison due to the limited information obtained.
Okay, so let's talk about this for just a second, because we have 5 blood droplets, for lack of a better description. And you're telling us that you found a major profile and that was Christine Banfield, or that she could not be eliminated, but you did find a minor profile. Were you surprised to find a minor contributor here to these seemingly singular drops of blood?
The minor profiles were very limited. The testing is sensitive, so it's not unusual to see that. And in order to test these, they were so small and they weren't absorbing well onto a swab. I actually had to cut through the material, so there could have been some trace DNA on the interior of the pants that I might be detecting.
All right, because these pants were on someone when they were collected, correct? To your knowledge?
That would be my understanding, yes.
Okay. I'm going to direct your attention to Commonwealth's previously admitted 125. Do you recognize this photo?
I do,
Okay. And this is Joseph Ryan's backpack, is that correct?
correct.
Does the circle mark the area from which you drew your samples?
That was the area that I was asked to test, and I took a representative sample of the red-brown staining, and blood was indicated. And Joseph Ryan couldn't be eliminated as a contributor of the profile that I developed from this stained area. The other 3 individuals were eliminated as contributors to this DNA profile, and the probability of randomly selecting an unrelated individual with a DNA profile matching the profile developed from the stained area on the backpack is 1 in greater than 8.1 billion in each of the 3 population groups.
All right. I believe you had one additional sheet, but that did not indicate any positive profiles, or there were not any profiles developed from the items that were tested. In that case, the over-the-ear hearing protection, Juliana's socks, and the stain swab from the Hyundai. Is that correct?
From the socks, I developed profiles, mixture profiles, but they weren't suitable for comparison due to the complexity and/or the complex nature. For the over-the-ear hearing protection, I collected a sample from the ear cushions, but that profile did not meet the quantitation threshold in order to continue the testing, so DNA analysis was discontinued.
Okay, and we'll just go ahead and make sure that everyone has everything. That's what would be Commonwealth's 163, the Certificate of Laboratory Analysis from April 2nd, 2024, offered in evidence.
Any objection? All right, in evidence?
All right, I believe I do not have any further questions. Doctor, thank you so much. I'm sorry, Ms. Colombo, thank you so much for your patience. I appreciate your answer any questions that Mr. Carroll might have for you at
We
this
will
time.
do that after our afternoon break.
Okay.
Let's go ahead and take our 15-minute break. Please do not discuss the case and do not do any outside research, okay? Since you're still on the stand, please do not discuss your testimony with anybody to include the prosecutors at this point, okay?
Thank you.
We'll be back. Let's come back at 3:45? All right, 3:45.
All right.
Well, wasn't that so interesting? What was your favorite part, chat? Did somebody say, was there jizz on the apricot earlier? I thought that was funny. Well, I don't know where Baker went. I missed like most of this lady's stuff she was saying, so I assume nothing all that interesting. What did they find on the apricot? Oh my God. What a funny thing to have in your bag of your tools. Did you say something about somebody getting a spray tan? Do people really get spray tans with people? Because I always used to go in one of those little, um, like a little private box thingy. I didn't know people like actually went and got spray tanned by people. Yeah, I thought the only thing that they saw semen on was the bed sheets of the nanny lady. Oh, that's funny. He has to cover up when he goes spray tanning. No, I always am done doing what I need to do, and I always come back at the perfect time, right? When Baker's talking about something ridiculous. Yeah.
Now
This
we
is
do.
now going to be jizz and apricot trial.
I'm so sad. Did she end it or did?
They're
Yeah.
just on their break. 15
Oh,
minute break.
yay.
I know.
Did they go to cross at least?
No, they're still. I think she just finished up. She just finished, and then they said they take their break before cross.
Okay.
So. Oops, where is it?
That's yeah. I don't know.
Oh, can't wait.
It got a little unruly in here, Jamie.
Yeah, we're just talking about all kinds of things.
Yeah.
Yeah, Hellfish never thought he'd talk to YouTube people about his dad's peen.
Why is he talking about his dad's peen?
Because he's talking about his dad going spray tanning. He has to cover himself up. You know how you do.
Well, I never had a spray
Baker's-
tan. That's not big in
You
Denmark.
should go get one. Because
Why?
that would be hilarious. I don't know.
So I could look
Spice
like
it up a bit.
one of those guys from Jersey Shore or something like that.
Yeah, oh, that would be fantastic.
Hey. No, it should be like this. Let me just. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, and welcome to The Situation. I am Baker, The Situation, and I'm going to take you all the way down to the shores of law, where we're going to talk about all the hoodlums, no, I don't know. Jamie, I've never watched that show. Just know he flexed a lot.
Yeah, I've seen it. It's that trash TV I love. I can't deny it. He wasn't as fun as the other ones, I'll say. He was just ridiculous. But yeah, I love a good spray tan. I haven't got one in a while.
I tried to get some tanning bed at the gym, but the coin slot didn't work, so I just chucked in money into it and didn't get a tan. No, I've had enough of that shit in college. I refuse to listen to it again. Yeah. Dude's got girls crying between their legs in chat, and he just flags it all up. Well, Lefty, you just have to stay envious, or as you say it over there, je suis envious pour la
Oh my lord.
boulanger danois Oh, je vous désirais le grand âme, oui, et la boulangère. Ah, je suis un petit raccoon. Je suis un French Canadian. Je suis un petit femme. Je bibais bien light. Je suis no man, no homme. I don't speak enough French,
Are
Jamie.
you saying you cannot throw petite raccoon in there so casually?
Well, petite is small in French. It is. God love the French Canadians.
Oh, goodness.
Oui. Avec le dans meet-up avec le Montréal. Non parle pas français, je comprends parle pas. Parle pas. I don't know. Al dente speaks French and doesn't understand anything, Jamie. So they don't speak French. It's because they're French Canadian. They only speak French, Canadian French. It's not the same.
Baker doesn't really speak it. He just has the Pepe Le Pew accent and then throws in words like petite raccoon. And that's it.
Il mangeait le poutine, c'est une délicacy. That's what Lefty says. Hey, MJ. MJ is over here destroying Sue. It's MJ's fault Sue can't be seen in chat.
Yeah, where is Sue? I haven't seen her.
Sue's gone. She couldn't stand all the jizz talk.
Loves jizz. Get out of here. She loves all the jizz talk. So does Danny. Where'd she go?
Danny's in chat. You know Danny's in chat. Come on now. In 2 seconds, she's going to talk about how a pig can orgasm for 2 hours.
Yeah. Oh, God.
Où est Sue? It's totally different than the Paris dialect. Quebec is slang. It's just they use the words different, but it's the same as Spanish and Mexican Spanish. It's 2 different languages. She's talking about
Lord.
Snooki's Pond. Pigs has a corkscrew penis.
Thank you, Danny.
Main du raton laveur. Raccoon hands.
Good God.
All right, cross-examination.
Thank you, Your Honor. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
And I forget, do I call you Dr. Colombo?
No,
No.
Mrs. Colombo?
Miss.
Ms.
Dr.
Thank you.
Colombo.
Okay. I don't have any questions about your lab sheets. We've discussed this before, so I appreciate that. I do have a question, though, regarding transfer DNA. Would you
transfer DNA.
be able to talk about that?
Yes.
Okay. And I'll just give you a factual scenario. If you have the same mixture on someone's hand, and that hand hits someone on a certain part of the body, would you expect transfer in the same identifying amounts from the hand to the body?
So the ability,
Lefty c'est une toute petite fille et elle a des mains de raton laveur.
What's a raton lover?
Raton is raccoon.
Is that raccoon?
To develop DNA profiles as a result of transfer, it's dependent on a number of unpredictable variables. So if the hand with the stain was still wet and it was very soon that the contact was made, I would suspect, well, with each transfer, there's a loss of information, but I would expect that sample to transfer.
Okay. Thank you. That's the only question I have.
Thank you.
Assume no redirect then? All right, is this witness subject to recall?
Stephanie, not
All right,
A,
you're free to go. Thank
but
you, Ms.
B,
Coleman.
Thank you, Your Honor.
because she's
Your next witness?
Dr. Susan Greenspan, please.
Raccoon in French is washing rat. We call it a washing bear in Danish.
A washing bear?
Yeah, they call it a washing rat. Ours is at least cool. It's a bear, Jamie.
What is, because,
Bears eat beets, Jamie.
but why is it a washing?
Fact.
Whatever.
Bears eat beets.
What does that have to do?
If you know why bears eat beets is a fact.
No, I don't.
It's from The Office. Well,
No.
I thought no the first day. This is day 3, and now everything's slowed down. So
Thank you. Good afternoon, Doctor. Could you please state and spell your name for the court record?
Susan Greenspoon, it's Susan and Greenspoon.
Thank you. What is your
it's
current
an-
occupation and where are you employed?
I'm a forensic molecular biologist at the Virginia Department of Forensic Science.
How long have you been with DFS?
I've been with DFS for over 24 years now.
All right. And did you have employment in the area?
Jamie, have you ever seen Lefty's high school photo from the yearbook?
Oh my God, what? No. What do you got? God. Oh. Yeah, this little French beret on. He is a cutie, though. Let me tell you.
Yeah.
Look at that face.
Do you know sometimes when you have like, an ugly kid and you'll say, well, they'll grow prettier. Well, if someone has an ugly kid and you don't want to say it's ugly, you say, oh, it's a kid. And then you'll just say to your friends, well, I hope she can grow into a body because maybe they look kind of like a bird that's fallen out of a tree. I'm not
I
going
feel
to talk
like that's what you say.
Well, I might have said that about a buddy of mine. His kid looked a lot like a mixture between a monkey and a bird. Jamie, don't ask me, but she did. She had a massive head and a very thin neck. But and I said, well, maybe she'll grow into her head at some point.
Oh my God.
Let's just say Lefty grew out of his cute face.
I'm just picturing somebody going, oh, look at my baby. Yeah, that's a baby. That's a kid.
What? Oh,
Sure
yeah.
is.
She's cute.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Area of forensic testing prior to DFS?
Yes, I worked at the Detroit Police Department Crime Lab for 6
go
years
to hell's
prior
best.
to joining DFS.
Thank you, Danny.
Okay. Outside of your formal education, did you receive any training to work at DFS?
Well, I was trained as a DNA examiner at the Detroit Police Department Crime Lab prior to coming to DFS, and so I was a court-qualified DNA examiner. So once I got to DFS, I was already qualified as a DNA examiner, but I did receive additional training for various specialties, such as probabilistic genotype
It was his high
software
school photo,
analysis,
Marissa.
and other special
Yeah, you had hair back
types
then.
of casework activities that I performed at DFS. I did receive additional training for that.
No, I'm not Canadian.
What are your
It's Lefty who's
responsibilities at the
Canadian.
Department of Forensic Science?
My primary responsibilities are to head the research and validation program for the forensic biology unit. I also perform specialized casework such as for probabilistic genotyping and relationship testing statistical analysis. I mentor graduate students primarily through Virginia Commonwealth University master's program, and I help troubleshoot various technical problems that occur in the laboratory, and then also assist the program manager when, on specific kinds of tasks that may need my assistance.
Thank you. Have you ever testified as an expert before?
Yes, I have.
Have you testified in Fairfax County as an expert?
Yes, I have.
Do you know approximately how many times?
I've testified over 60 times, approximately 70 times, I guess.
All right, thank you. Judge, at this time, I would offer Dr. Greenspoon as an expert in the field of forensic science and DNA analysis.
Any objection? All right, so moved.
Thank you. All right, so we've heard a little bit about DNA testing using the PowerPlex fusion amplification system. You, however, in the testing that you did in this case, used the true allele casework system. Is that correct?
That is correct.
All right, can you tell us a little bit about the difference between PowerPlex and true allele?
Well, the PowerPlex fusion system is used to generate the DNA profiles. It's used in combination with a
Come on. Come on. Yeah, she's sniffing all the time. I don't know if it's because
the PCR
Virginia,
thermocoupler
they
machine
take too
that
much.
uses the
Coke or
chemicals and the
something.
specific components of the PowerPlex fusion system to generate millions of copies of specific regions of the DNA that vary among people. And that's what we use for human identification analysis. That's what PowerPlex fusion is used for. What the true allele casework system does is it takes the raw data produced by the instrumentation used to visualize those DNA samples, and it utilizes
peacocking
that
to
data
Lefty.
to model forensic casework samples. So it models the DNA mixture samples in such a way that allows it to separate out the DNA profiles for the unknown contributors to that mixture. So if you have multiple contributors to a DNA sample that's a forensic unknown casework sample, a program such as True Allele that performs probabilistic genotyping will propose a model to explain that DNA mixture in terms of the DNA profiles for the contributors to that mixture. So it models it, it proposes a model, it tests that model using probability assessments, and then it changes the model, and then it tests it, and it does this, iteratively, repeatedly for millions of times. And so it does it millions of times, it proposes a model, it tests it to see how well does it explain this mixture, and then it does this over and over and over. And at the end of its analysis, the software program analysis, then it comes up with the most likely DNA profiles for these unknown contributors to this DNA sample.
All right, so in this case, you were provided with items that had been previously tested and resulted in mixture of profiles that you then used True Allele to sort out. Is that accurate?
That is correct.
Okay. For comparison, what did you receive from the 4 potential individuals in this case from whom you then had to, or from which you then had to develop profiles?
The DNA profiles in this case were developed by Ms. Colombo. She performed all the DNA analysis. She provided electronic data from the instrument itself that the instrument produced when it was visualizing and separating out and visualizing these DNA products, these DNA typing products. So she provided that electronic data to me for analysis for the specific samples that were earmarked for True Allele analysis, this True Allele casework probabilistic genotyping system. So she provided those to me that electronic data to me on a secured server that we all can access in forensic biology around the state. And she also provided copies, hard copies, printed copies of the DNA profiles that she developed, because I'm dealing with the raw data that I upload to the software program, but then she provides with the DNA profiles that she generated. So I have a bigger picture of what's been developed on the DNA testing side in the case.
Okay, so let's turn to what I'm going to display here as Commonwealth's 165. I'd like to offer into evidence at this point in time the certificate of analysis dated June 7th, 2024.
Any objection? All right, so entered.
All right, so reviewing this certificate of analysis, I see that you were comparing buccal samples, or at least the data as you have described that was previously analyzed and produced, shared with you, that resulted in profiles for Brendan Banfield, Juliana Peres Magalhães, Christine Banfield, and Joseph Ryan, for comparison with then the sample from the coat from Brendan Banfield. Is that correct?
Yes, that
Okay.
is correct.
And what did your testing reveal?
If I can refer to my copy, or, well, if you scroll. So
Your preference, I can either, I don't know if you can
this
read
is
it.
fine.
Okay.
So I want to just provide a little bit more information about this process, because the TrueAllele Casework probabilistic genotyping software program separates out and generates the most likely DNA profiles for these unknown contributors to this mixture. After that work is done, then a comparison is made to reference samples, known DNA profiles for persons of interest. The comparison is, so the probabilistic genotyping system simplifies these mixtures. And then comparisons are made then to the analyzed mixture sample in the form of a likelihood ratio using these reference samples. This report reports the likelihood ratio values. A likelihood ratio compares two alternative explanations for the DNA, the forensic DNA sample, the mixture sample, based on this comparison with this reference sample, with the person of interest. So the first, the two different alternative explanations are that the probability of generating this, or the probability of observing this DNA mixture profile if the person of interest is a contributor, versus the alternate.
Come on. I pay for effing premium work.
Explanation, which is the probability of observing this DNA mixture if somebody else, not that person of interest, is a contributor. So the likelihood ratio can be over 1, and that lends support to the first explanation, or it can be below 1, and that lends support for the alternate explanation. So the larger the value, the stronger the support for the first explanation in this case.
All right, so looking at the results that were produced from the testing on Mr. Banfield's jacket, we looked, I believe the area that was first reported was the testing on the exterior rear lower left side of the coat.
Yes, so on evaluation of the mixture profile, I told the software program that I estimated there to be 3 contributors to this mixture. That was from my human evaluation of this, the DNA profile generated by Ms. Colombo. So assuming the DNA profile that was previously developed from an area on the exterior rear and lower left side of Brendan Banfield's coat is a mixture of 3 unknown contributors, then the TrueAllele Casework system objectively inferred genotypes solely from these data. So we do perform duplicate analyses. We're required to generate at least 2 concordant analyses that they confirm each other's results. So following these duplicate reproducible analyses, then the computer then compared each inferred contributor genotype to the provided reference genotypes of Brendan Banfield, Juliana Peres Magalhães, and Christine Banfield relative to the reference populations to compute the likelihood ratio match statistics. So based on these results, Brendan Banfield cannot be eliminated as a contributor to this DNA mixture profile, and the DNA profile developed from an area on the exterior rear lower left side of Brendan Banfield's coat at the Powerplex fusion loci is approximately 21 million times more likely if it originated from Brendan Banfield and 2 unrelated unknown individuals in the Caucasian population than if it originated from 3 unrelated unknown individuals in the Caucasian population. Then it's 1 billion times more likely to be observed if it originated from Brendan Banfield and 2 unrelated individuals in the African American population than if it originated from 3 unrelated unknown individuals in the African American population. And then finally, it's 29 million times more likely to be observed if it originated from Brendan Banfield and 2 unrelated unknown individuals in the Hispanic population than if it originated from 3 unrelated unknown individuals in the Hispanic population.
Okay, so if we boil that down, Brendan Banfield is on Brendan Banfield's coat.
Well, there is statistical, DNA and statistical support that for the explanation that Mr. Banfield is on Mr. Banfield's coat.
Okay,
Yes.
but more than that was found, right?
Yes.
And without going into the population and
So his DNA was
probabilistic
on his jacket. Why wouldn't it be
information,
there?
we saw that the other profiles that were developed were from who?
Well, then similarly, a comparison with this mixture sample was made with Ms. Magalhães' reference DNA profile. These values wound up being considered, based on our internal validation testing, to be uninformative or inconclusive. They were not large values. And so these values were 310 times more likely.
Okay, so we could identify that Juliana's DNA was inconclusive. We weren't able to necessarily make a match there. Is that fair?
We would state it as it was just uninformative. We can't draw conclusions.
Okay.
As to whether there's support or not for that.
Thank you. How about Christine's DNA?
If you haven't picked up the signal yet, she's bored of you already. Just say yes and no.
Okay.
So for Christine's DNA, the statistics were 18
Ray,
billion
how are
times
you
more
doing?
likely for this profile to be a DNA mixture profile to be observed if it originated from Christine Banfield
Yes,
and
that's
2
the real rate.
unrelated unknown individuals in the
Okay.
Caucasian population than if it originated from 3 unrelated unknown individuals in the Caucasian population.
So in our mixture, we have most likely Brendan and Christine. Is that accurate? I know I'm dumbing down the science here, and I apologize, but to just be as simplified about it as we can.
We would say that
Not the real Ray from Dallas. It is
the
the real Ray from
Trulil
Dallas.
casework probabilistic genotyping analysis provided support, statistical support for Christine Banfield and Brendan Banfield to be contributors.
Isn't
to
that the
this
real Ray
mixture.
from
All
Dallas?
right, and then we looked at the
It's the real Ray from
stain
Dallas.
A
Oh,
from the
sorry.
coat. Is that
It's not
correct?
the real Ray from Dallas.
Yes,
All right.
from, of the two, stain
Like, come
A
on,
of the
Mac.
2
I don't
stained
know.
areas, approximately midway.
Right, and
I don't know why people
again,
make fake names.
certainly
PLT.
not trying to limit the extensive effort that you put in here to determine the results, but as a summary, whose DNA could not be eliminated from consideration as a contributor to the mixture at stain A?
Well, at stain A, then, Christine Banfield and Joseph Ryan cannot be eliminated as contributors to this stain A.
Thank you. I'd like to direct your attention to what I will offer
Could you
into
stop
evidence
hitting the microphone?
as Commonwealth's 167. And I'm sorry, Your Honor, can I confirm that we just did 166?
No, we did
That's
165.
what I felt like, okay. Thank you, Judge. In which case, let me look at 166.
Oh, come on now. Lady,
That is not
it's
what I
4
wanted.
o'clock in the afternoon.
So I
You're
am
killing
going to
the
jump,
jury.
Judge, to Exhibit 167. And if I
I was in Will's
can
chat last night lurking.
take just a step back. All right, we're going to go with 166. Judge, at this time, I would offer Commonwealth's 166 into evidence.
All right, any objection to 166?
yeah, sorry,
But I think to the
the
top.
other way to the top. Certificate of analysis dated June 17th, 2024.
No objection, okay, no objection to 166, so 166 is in evidence.
Thank you. Dr. Greenspan, do you recognize this document?
Yes,
Okay. And here, we are again using True Allele to learn more about blood that was tested by by Ms. Colombo on the fitted sheet from the master bedroom. Is that correct?
that is correct.
Okay. Tell us what we learned about the mixture profiles that were present on the sheet in the blood sampled here.
Okay, on the sheet,
Do you need me to scroll back up just a bit?
it's okay, for this,
Did you get banned in there?
the representative sample from a stained area on the sheet, I estimated there to be 2 contributors to this mixture sample. And so, based on the True Allele analysis, Christine Banfield cannot be eliminated as a contributor to this DNA mixture profile. And the DNA profile developed from a representative sample of the stained area on the exterior of one of the corners of the sheet of the Powerplex fusion loci is approximately 12 septillion times more likely to be observed if it originated from Christine Banfield and one unrelated unknown individual in the Caucasian population than if it originated from 2 unrelated unknown individuals in the Caucasian population, and 6.3 octillion times more likely to be observed if it originated from Christine Banfield and one unrelated unknown individual in the African American population than if it originated from 2 unrelated unknown individuals in the African American population, and then 160 septillion times more likely to be observed if it originated from Christine Banfield and one unrelated unknown individual in the Hispanic population than if it originated from 2 unrelated unknown individuals in the Hispanic population.
Okay, and then who was the other contributor?
And then the other individual who cannot be eliminated as a contributor to this mixture was Joseph Ryan, and the values were 530 sextillion times more likely to be observed if it originated from Joseph Ryan and one unrelated unknown individual in the Caucasian population than if it originated from 2 unrelated unknown individuals in the Caucasian population, and 960 septillion times more likely to be observed if it originated from Joseph Ryan and one unrelated unknown individual in the African American population than if it originated from 2 unrelated unknown individuals in the African American population. And then finally, it was 6.1 septillion times more likely to be observed if it originated from Joseph Ryan and one unrelated unknown individual in the Hispanic population than if it originated from 2 unrelated unknown individuals in the Hispanic population.
Thank you. I'm going to direct your attention to Commonwealth's 167, and before offering that into evidence, just going to...
No, they really sold it. Oh, Dexter is such an interesting show. No, they are just boring people who sit and count spermators and who will run around with a ruler. They don't do this a lot. So the guilty person is like that redhead with his sunglasses.
Scroll down so you can take a look at it.
Hey, before I go.
I believe you've had the opportunity to look at it before today, but let me ask you, do you know Lisa Schermeyer-Wood?
Yes, she's a colleague of mine at the Virginia Department of Forensic Science.
Okay. And this document, Commonwealth 167, was this drafted by Lisa Schermeyer-Wood?
Yes, this is her certificate of analysis.
Have you had the opportunity to review it, and are you comfortable reporting her findings to the court?
Yes, I did review her case file prior to coming in here.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Judge, at this time, Commonwealth would offer as Commonwealth's 167.
Blow your nose.
Laboratory analysis dated July 13th, 2023.
Any objection? All right, 167 in evidence.
All right, thank you. All right, what was tested here? The swab from the stain on the side of the bed
Oh my
frame.
gosh,
is that
she's so
correct?
gross.
Yeah.
And the knife.
And the knife. And what, as I scroll down to the stopping point, were the results of the testing on the mixture profile from the underside of the handle of the knife near the juncture of the blade and the handle?
Okay. And the stain was designated B3. And the estimate was that it's a mixture of 2 unknown contributors.
And I think we can probably, looking at these numbers, again, we're talking about octillions and septillions. These feel like very convincing numbers to me. Are they pretty strong?
Those are large values, yes.
Okay, so without diving into the values, were you able to determine who the 2 contributors were here to the stain on the underside of the knife?
Well, the program, True Little Casework, doesn't identify an individual, but it does analyze and compare to the reference profile, and the likelihood ratio generates support for one explanation or the other. And in this case, the likelihood ratios for both, we lost the report.
Yep, I see that. It's telling me that the battery is running low and it's plugged in.
Okay, so the likelihood ratios generated showed statistical support for the explanation of both Christine Banfield and Joseph Ryan as contributors to this stain, or the stain B on the knife handle. B3, sorry, the stain B3 on the knife
Tons of
handle.
fun is a groomer.
Sorry, bear with me here for a
course.
second. I'm just gonna go through every.
Thank you, lady.
Cords. I got it. All right. So we established our contributors to the stain on the underside of the knife. How about when we looked at the stain from the swab, the swab of the stain from the side of the bed frame?
So, based on the true allele analysis, using the DNA profile data generated by Ms. Colombo, the swab from the side of the bed frame was estimated to be a mixture of 2 people. And based on these results, the true allele casework analysis results, Christine Banfield cannot be eliminated as a contributor to this DNA mixture, and Joseph Ryan also cannot be eliminated as a contributor to this DNA mixture.
Thank you. I want to go back really quick on the knife. We have a mixture, we have contributors. The sample is identified as blood on the underside of the handle near the blade / handle juncture. Can you be certain that the mixture of DNA was extracted from blood and not skin cells?
It could be a combination of blood and skin cells. It could be just blood, since blood was detected. So we can't actually discern that.
Okay, thank you. Judge, I do not believe I have any additional questions for this witness.
All right.
Please answer any questions Mr. Carroll might have.
Cross-examination, do you have any? No questions. All right, is this witness subject to recall?
She is not.
All right. Is she subject to recall, Mr. Carroll? Okay, you're free to go. Thank you, Doctor.
Thank you.
All right, your next witness,
Oh,
Madeline Crowley.
Madeline Crowley,
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. on the record.
Thank you.
Do you swear or affirm to testify?
another person to tell us about a lot of nothing.
That he had DNA on his own jacket. I hope not.
Yeah, that's what I got. His DNA was on his own jacket.
Good afternoon, ma'am. How are you today?
Good afternoon, I'm good, thank you.
Can you please state and spell your name for the court record?
My name is Madeline Crowley, Madeline, Crowley.
Thank you. What is your current occupation and where are you employed?
I am a senior DNA analyst and a DNA analyst trainer at Bodie Technology.
How long have you been employed at Bodie?
I've been employed for about 7.5 years.
All right. Did you have any experience in analyzing DNA
Well, I didn't know they were going to bring in every DNA person in the world. Was she involved in the Karen Reed case? I've seen her. Well, I'm not sure I've seen her. Crawley, that last name, we've heard that before.
prior to working for Bodie?
No, I began working the year that I graduated, and I graduated with a degree where I learned and had experience in the DNA analysis process.
All right. What are your responsibilities as a DNA analyst for Bodie?
And analyze.
As a DNA analyst, I am responsible for directing and overseeing the in-lab processing of casework samples, analyzing the results, performing comparisons and statistics as needed, documenting the findings in a formal report, and testifying as needed.
Did Bodie have you go through any training programs when you came to work for them?
Yes, Bodie has a very thorough training program that lasts approximately 6 months. I was required to attend lectures, read required readings, observe qualified individuals in each procedure that I was training in. I then was required to complete 3 sets of mock cases from start to finish, meaning from receiving the evidence, doing that in lab processing, doing my interpretations, and writing the reports. These 3 sets, the first was a supervised set where I was observed by a qualified individual. The next was unsupervised, and the last was a competency set where I was to complete a competency set.
Yes.
And I was required to have earned an 80% or higher on all of those exams, and I did satisfactorily and
Can't hurt a
became
ginger, they
qualified
don't
as an
have a soul.
analyst.
Thank you. Have you ever testified as an expert before?
I have.
All right. I'm going to ask at this time that Ms. Crowley be admitted as an expert in DNA analysis.
Any objection? No. All right, so moved.
Thank you.
A
Tell us a
DNA
little bit about
analyst
Bodie.
test.
We've heard from DFS. Is Bodie established here in Virginia?
Yes.
Okay. And how long have they been performing DNA testing?
Since 1995, so about 31 years.
Okay. Are they accredited?
Yes, we are.
All right. Does your lab have a quality assurance process to ensure the reliability of their testing?
Yes, we do.
Okay. I'm going to ask you, was Bodie Technology given items of evidence to analyze for this case?
Yes, we were.
I'm going to direct you to what is marked as Commonwealth's Exhibit 168, a certificate of analysis from December 21st, 2023. Do you recognize that document?
Yes, I do.
All right, Commonwealth would offer that into evidence at this time.
Any objection? All right,
All right.
168 in evidence.
Thank you. All right, I'm going to shift for just a second back over to what was previously admitted as Commonwealth's 150, Joe Ryan's jeans. Does this photo accurately depict the items that were received by Bodie for testing?
Yes, it does.
Okay, what areas of this item were sampled?
So within the red-brown staining on the upper right thigh of the jeans, we took 2 samples. We sampled one area within that red-brown staining, and we sampled another area between and around that red-brown staining.
And did you receive samples for comparison?
Yes, we did not receive physical samples to test. We received submitted DNA profiles for comparison.
And what were the results and conclusions from the sample of the jeans leg avoiding staining? So not the red-brown, but the area outside the red-brown.
May I refer, Your Honor,
Yes.
may I refer to my report?
Yes, ma'am.
Absolutely.
Thank
I can
you.
switch back over to it, or if you have your own copy. All right, where would you like me to stop?
The number 2.
Page 2?
No, the
Sorry.
number 2 and results.
There you go. I think that gets most of it in there.
Yes. So the DNA profile obtained from, this is the portion avoiding the red-brown staining, is consistent with a mixture of 3 or more individuals with a major mixture component of 2 individuals, including a major male contributor. This deduced major component DNA profile matches the DNA profile provided for Joseph Ryan. The probability of randomly selecting an unrelated individual with this DNA profile is at least 1 in 180 septillion in the US population. The deduced minor component DNA profile matches the DNA profile for Christine Banfield. The probability of randomly selecting an unrelated individual with this DNA profile is at least 1 in 83 sextillion in the US population. There were 2 locations that we tested not used in that statistical calculation due to the inability to resolve a minor component. Brendan Banfield and Julia Magalhães are excluded as possible contributors to the major mixture component DNA profile deduced from the sample listed above. And due to the possibility of allelic dropout, no conclusions can be made on the minor alleles that are not part of the major mixture.
All right, so let's talk really quickly about major and minor. We talked about this on the phone at one point. Does it inherently mean that there is more of the substance being tested, let's say blood, if it's a major contributor, and less DNA in the substance being tested if it's a minor contributor?
So a major contributor is able to be deduced when we have more of that component than the rest of the profile. So yes, being able to pull a major component means that there was more DNA from that component, that individual, in the evidence sample.
Okay, but again, more DNA, not necessarily more blood or
Correct, more DNA.
skin cells, more anything. It's specifically, if we were to take a
Not
pin
semen.
dot, it's within that pin dot of matter that you're testing that you see a minor and major contributor. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. You also tested the red-brown staining itself. What were the results of that testing?
The DNA profile obtained is consistent with a mixture of 3 or more individuals with a major mixture component of 2 individuals, including a major male contributor. The deduced major component DNA profile matches the DNA profile provided for Joseph Ryan. The probability of randomly selecting an unrelated individual with this DNA profile is at least 1 in 180 septillion in the US population. This deduced minor component DNA profile matches the DNA profile provided for Christine Banfield. The probability of randomly selecting an unrelated individual with this DNA profile is at least 1 in 12 sextillion in the US population. The following loci were not used in the statistical calculation. There were 4 locations not used in this statistical calculation due to the inability to resolve a minor component. Brendan Banfield and Juliana Magalhães are excluded as possible contributors to the major mixture component of that DNA profile. And due to the possibility of allelic dropout, no conclusions can be made on the minor alleles that were not part of that major mixture component.
Thank you. Quick question. Do you know why Fairfax County sent this item to your lab, Bodie Technologies, rather than leaving it with DFS?
Specifically for this case, no, we were not informed why they chose to have us process the case. However, this is typical. As we are a private lab, we receive requests from state labs to do processing.
Thank you, Judge. I have no further questions of this witness.
All right, cross-examination.
No, thank you.
All right, is
Good
she
night.
set to recall then?
She is not.
All right, you're free to go.
Bye.
What have we learned from any of this DNA? They had sex in
Judge, I
the
just have a
nurses.
stipulated document that I'd like to put into evidence.
Okay.
They had sex in the nurses, the nanny's room.
Nurses are-
That's
Judge,
what
at
we
this
have learned.
time, I would like
Yeah.
to offer into evidence as Commonwealth's 169, a report
Giggity.
from DNA
69.
Labs International, previously referred to by our witness, Mr. Leach, as DLI, specifically the testing of the zipper, button, and waistband area of the blue jeans from Joseph Ryan, which indicated the presence of DNA from Christine Banfield and Joseph Ryan Brendan Banfield and Juliana were excluded as contributors. The mixture profile was tested using stir mix, and the probabilistic information is contained within the report.
All right, any objection then? All right, 169 is in evidence.
And at that point in time, Judge, the Commonwealth is out of witnesses
For today.
for today.
Okay. All right, that's fine. Ladies and
thought they were
gentlemen, it's
gonna
4:30. We can go
I was
ahead
like,
and
oh,
break. We're actually going
thank
to be
God.
breaking until Tuesday now.
What?
Because remember, you don't come tomorrow, so you get the day off.
Monday is a
And we'll
holiday.
reconvene on Tuesday since Monday is a holiday. Okay, so make sure you are here early on Monday. I am going to read you a few instructions. This is the same instruction I gave you the first day when you were impaneled.
So, no court tomorrow, Jamie. Ha! Woo! Pew, 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 pew. Pew, 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 pew. No court Monday.
Yep. That's
Do, do,
Martin
do,
Luther King Day. I
Pew,
forgot.
pew, 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 pew. Oh, well, I shouldn't do pew 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 sounds when you just mentioned Martin Luther King Day.
Well, I was thinking, what's Monday? And then I forgot. Yeah, it's Martin Luther King Day.
That's what Zach calls his Christmas is Martin Luther King Day, because he's always said marching with Martin Luther King was one of his greatest experiences, as he called him, that young man, Martin Luther King. But Zach was in Selma. Which side he was on, we don't discuss that part, but Zach was there. So why am I so excited about that? Because today was effing boring, Melmac. So tomorrow I can do 2 hours about something that I want to do 2 hours about, because this has been really boring today. I'm sorry, but DNA evidence that has no evidence and is inconclusive is just boring to listening to. Maybe Jamie, should I go back and find out to Sergeant Dom how long the reading of the text messages are?
Yeah, you can time that out.
No, it's just if it's like an hour or two, we can play that tomorrow.
That's what I mean. Just like
Yeah.
see how long it is or whatever.
No, I'll holster them. They are only for McMulligans or whatever it's called in Boston, but there you can finger blast away. A little inside
I
joke.
always. Yeah, I was gonna say, Sue. I thought it was always in January.
It is it is Martin Luther King Day, because I have an international calendar, or I have an American calendar on my Goggle, so I know when you have all your weird days.
Yeah.
And it's Martin Luther King Day. I know that. So yeah.
Well, it's considered a holiday at my job, even when they make us work, but we get the holiday pay, so that's good.
Never moved it. Always January 15th. That's today. Tomorrow is the 6th. Monday will be the 19th. So yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's always the Monday after the 15th.
Yeah, it's like, yeah.
That's the thing. Oh, it's the first Tuesday after a Monday. You have elections. Just do like normal people do. Have them every 4 years, or whenever the government doesn't have enough support behind them, so they have to make an election. We're having an election this year, Jamie. We had an election last year too. That was local. This year is for the national government.
I love how everybody's realizing Monday. My kids are off school Monday. Oh crap.
Yeah. Ugh, I have to take care of my own kids now.
Well, no. This is funny.
Yeah. But no. Well, we'll find something to do tomorrow. I'll go and look how long because we talk so much about the missing sexual evidence, but you ladies, we might need the spankulator, because you have been unruly today.
The spankulator.
You have been unruly. That's all I'm gonna say. So I might need to go and find the Daddy Dom text messages and just sit and enjoy the pure cringe when that poor black detective has to read a fat middle-aged white guy with a mental disease trying to pretend to be an alpha, and his love interest who I just got resuscitated. What are you gonna do to me, Daddy Dumb?
Ugh.
Well, I might slap your butt. Yeah, he had 7 guys come over for my birthday and just gang rape me. But I just want you to do stuff to me. Can I pull your hair? We should do that tomorrow, Jamie. Out. That was right on the. So I'll figure that out. Let's do that tomorrow because we need some light entertainment before the weekend. Everyone who normally watches Aiden, remember Smex Club has moved till Friday. I don't know what day it normally is, but he said it on his morning live this morning. Remember the swim club, car club, plane club is out there trying to make content by getting everyone angry in certain people's chats. Don't give them anything. And if I can get my lazy butt out of bed, we'll probably do a pie club tonight. Maybe talk a little bit about the new bombshells between Krusty and Plevin and how Karen. I don't know. I'll wake up, look on Twitch and someone will have sent me something where I'll laugh at it and we'll talk about it. Baker is unhinged. Side-eyed, you are unhinged. You ladies and all of your
Baker is unhinged.
they were really on about the Smegma, Jamie. It was horrible.
You're-
Won't be here tomorrow. Oh, you will be here, Marissa, because it's so cringe. You will love it.
You have to see it if you haven't seen it, everyone.
I don't think Marissa had come around at that time. That was like our 3rd trial we did.
Yeah, this was very early on
Yeah,
when me and Baker and Mo joined us
yeah, that
for
was
some
that
of
was
it.
that was great.
Yeah.
I'm always up early. Well, maybe I will sleep in for once, but I'll have to figure out when and where that happened. If I can find it, I think it was like an hour or so. Could be fun. Saturday, I will be at noon because Dave is in Europe right now. We will do a Lego build stream on his channel on Saturday, chilling with his son, and probably going to be just relaxed. Sunday, probably clean my entire house because next week is my birthday week and I have guests coming the weekend after that, and I have to go meet up with Dave in Odense on Wednesday. So I'm gonna run out of time. So I don't know if I'm gonna do something Sunday. I don't know. Janelle, if you come back tomorrow, will I sing to you? I don't sing ever. I won't sing. So not gonna do that. No one ever sings for me. So yeah. Do I need to leave the attic since you're having company coming? Yes, side eye. No, by the way, can you throw down? I have 4 chairs up there that I need to throw down. Jamie, remind me I need to turn the light off on my attic because
Did you not?
yeah, I forgot it.
Not yet.
Well, I get off here and just my world collapses and oh shit, I have to do all of this. So yeah. No,
That's true.
my birthday, in Denmark, you're not allowed to say happy birthday unless it's on the day. It's bad luck to say happy birthday to anyone. So I haven't seen anyone saying that. My birthday is on Wednesday. I'm gonna go meet up with Dave at 10 in the morning. Normally, trial here starts at 4 in the afternoon, my time. So I don't know if I'm gonna make it home. We might be on delay. We'll figure it out. You might have to go to watch it at Catnuts Williams of Recovery. I think he's covering it as well. But we'll figure it out. But Wednesday, I will go meet up with Dave at least and Mess You know Mass Jamie.
Oh, I miss him.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
He is a good dude.
Yeah. Luckily, Penilla isn't coming.
You should show up, Penilla.
No,
Get
she's
on
not
that
allowed.
train.
No, she's not.
Get over there.
Yeah. But yeah, if Vinosaur should come down, she's not working in the winter period because she's a gardener. So
Yeah,
she should
that'd
come
be
down.
fun.
Yeah.
Like a little reunion.
Well, Vinosaur doesn't like me. That's why she won't come to my birthday. And I'm not gonna make a bus stream because I don't drink and stream. So ain't gonna happen. The only drinking on stream I do is when I am in Tennessee, and I just was told yesterday Tennessee has been moved, so I don't know when it's moved to, and I know I have court dates in the month that they most likely is moving it to, so I'm not sure I can even make it to Tennessee this year.
Hmm.
That's
That's sad.
not fun. So yeah,
It's okay. You'll make up for it.
he had 4 drinks on New Year's. I had 2. Hey, Boston Cyber Chick, how is the chicken farm? I don't know why I said that.
I hope
Where
you do
did
show up,
Tennessee need
Penilla.
I haven't gotten the finish days for when Tennessee has moved to, so that's a little annoying. So we're gonna figure it out if I'm going to Americas. Maybe I should go to Chicago, Jamie.
You should. Oh my God. Food Fairy will pass away if you show up. You might give her a heart attack.
Yeah. Well, I know you and I have a way of figuring out people's real names. Sorry for doxing you, Cyber Chicken, but we do this on this stream. Oh, how nice! Oh,
Are you
they're
sure
nice
about
people.
that?
Jamie, you're kind of like that slave that stood behind the Imperator when he rolled into Rome for his triumph, holding the laurel leaves at his head and saying, "Remember your mortal." Oh, I'm so happy. Cyber Chicken's friends likes me. No, they don't.
You sure about that?
Chicago. Good.
Oh man. Good job, Cyber Chicken. Now we gotta call it Cyber Chicken. Jeez, oh Pete.
Aiden was, who's crazy Amy? Because the car crew was in his chat trying to stir up some shit. And he was like, "Oh, Baker has the best rants. He made one the other day, and then he played it. And he was like, "Who's Crazy Amy?" And then he found out finally who's Crazy Amy is. So,
Yeah. You just nickname everybody.
No, I don't
Whatever you feel
nickname
like.
everyone. I nickname all the people that I just look at their name and it doesn't make sense in my head, and it just comes out wrong. Again, why is Jedi Jess Jemima? It makes no sense.
I don't know why you started calling her Jemima, to be honest with you. I thought it had
don't know
something to
either.
do with the syrup. But I don't even know
No.
if you know what this
I think I
Jemima
just
syrup was.
misspoke once, and then now it's just Jemima. The kid, she tried to change it. It's not the same.
No.
Yeah, and I couldn't find one that was good for you, and then Expert came up with J7. So yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Sometimes I don't know where you get these nicknames.
I don't know. Now I have an urge to call Melmac Fraggle.
Fraggle?
Yeah, wasn't that the Melmacs? The planet Melmac. It's from something, isn't it? The Fraggles.
Melmac? I don't even know. Now you have to look it up.
No, it's Elf.
I was
He's
gonna
from
say, I
Planet.
feel,
Yeah, he's from Planet. That's gonna stick.
oh God,
Guess who's
Elf.
gonna be Elf from now on? It took me a minute to figure out that Jedi Jess, the kid, and Jemima were all the same person. Look,
Yeah, there's so many nicknames he gives people.
yeah. Well, Elf got her new nickname. Experts call you Lilu. Well, he's a weirdo.
Yeah, where did he get that?
Yeah, I don't know. Probably her old handle that had
Oh,
something
maybe.
like that. I don't know. I don't know. It's the expert. Have you met him? He makes up weird names without no reason. It's not like me. I do it because I read it wrong.
Like
Don't hate.
Peace Pony. There's Peace
Yeah.
Pony Bunny, remember?
Yeah.
What was I don't even know what these people's real names are anymore.
It's what it was.
Because of you.
It was Pete's peony, the flower peony,
Peace
yeah,
Peony.
yeah. So that was just Peach Pony, and then of course we can't forget good old Ralphie.
Oh, Ralphie.
Yeah, Rossman Ralph. That is Rossman Ranch, but I just read Ranch wrong.
Yeah, it was like there was no Ralph in any of the parts of her name at all.
It doesn't have. It doesn't need to have. Oh, because of the fifth element. Do you look like her? Well, you have red hair in your avatar. Could be why. I don't know.
Oh, I've never seen that movie, so I don't know.
Copintalas multipass. Multipass.
What?
Uh,
Are you okay?
no, you haven't seen the fifth element.
No, I haven't.
Multipass. Oh.
I thought you were going into another language accent that you do.
I am.
But a real one, not a movie one.
It is a movie one. Multipass. Multipass. Copintalas. Multipass.
Oh my God.
Jamie, I'm tired. It's 11
Yeah.
o'clock. I have to be up in 6 hours. And I have, yeah, Delulu. It is a crime she hasn't watched that. And
Sorry.
go watch it immediately.
Well, if anybody knows me, they know I have not seen most.
If it's not Leprechauns 2 Back in the Hood,
Oh my God.
Jamie hasn't watched it.
I'm gonna make Iris watch it with me one day, just for this.
Yeah.
All this
When we
hate.
go to Chicago, FD Food Ferry better get a widescreen TV so we can all sit and watch it and have popcorn.
She does have a little projection TV thing, so I
Oh.
have to go sit up there and watch a Leprechaun Back to the Hood.
Da Hood. Da Hood.
The Hood. Yes.
That's yeah. Broken hearted. Thank you for the coverage, Baker. Bye for now. Take care. Be safe, everyone. Broken hearted. Have a wonderful night.
Yes.
The rest of you, I need some sleep because I'm up in 6 hours. Then I have a show, and then I have Cougar class, and then I need to go out get some Lego, and I need to go find Sergeant Dumb and his stupid stuff.
You got a lot going on.
I'm not sure I'm gonna keep. I have like my back is starting to act up. Maybe I should take an easy morning, just do an hour on the treadmill instead.
You might.
Maybe a
That might
good
be a
idea.
good idea.
Yeah. Oh, I'm actually getting a new flat screen from this month's downstairs. Well, it's made a match made in heaven. Now we don't just have to figure out a date.
Oh.
Yeah.
New flat screen for the downstairs. Look at you.
So
And
we can do
she,
that.
yeah, so we can stare at her. We can watch movies while she's in, because she's always in the kitchen with her timers. So that
And
should be fun.
Alfie can join us. She's in Chicago as well.
Elfie?
Yeah.
Oh, now you're calling her Elfie, so you threw me off.
Well, Alfie is a female version of Elf.
Okay.
So, oh, and
Yes.
Delulu. FD Food
There you
Fairy,
go.
it's going to be a party. You better get a bigger apartment.
Yeah, you better move immediately.
Yeah. That's going to be a party. I'll bring the Slabinator.
Oh my lord, that's a bad idea.
What could ever go wrong with that idea, Jamie?
Nothing at all.
I'm Jimmy. How y'all doing?
I know English is your second language, but you don't word
It's
your
my
questions
third,
carefully.
but I'm still better at it than you. You are
The most important people in this case that everybody seems to have forgotten in this room is the jury. So we're going to take a 15-minute break and both sides take a pregnant pause and think about